Hello, everyone. Hi. We should be going live here starting. Excellent. Fantastic. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take this really casually. We don't really have too much of an agenda, other than, of course, our hashtag alt-right agenda, as you know.
Um,
But I've got Jeff Holiday here. I have Ian.
Hello.
Miles Cheong just popped in. Hello, Ian.
Hey,
And I
how's it
have
going?
Sargon of Akkad, as many of you guys know. People always
Hey,
comment and
man.
say, Rags, you watch Sargon. You watch Sargon. He's like, yeah, I watched him for ages. So thanks very much. Thanks very,
Yeah,
very
no
much
worries.
for popping on. I really appreciate that because it's really, really late for you.
Yeah, it is, and I've got a fucking headache. But
So to help it, we were
I've
talking
been,
about Nazis. That'll help your headache.
yeah. Well, we've been talking about I've seen you on Twitter and stuff, just arguing with SJWs and stuff. So, I thought follow you and stay in contact. I guess so we could end up on a stream or something sometime. I don't know. Why do I follow anyone on the internet? Jesus, I should have. I don't know. I don't know why the hell. It's so weird. The sort of communities that have sprung up and the the overlap between them. I saw Christy Winters tweeting out a bloody alt right video calling us a bunch of Jews the other day.
I
Wait.
saw that. Oh my god, I fucking saw that
It's just like,
too.
what are you doing, Christy?
Oh, I think we could safely say at this point, and I mean this with
Yeah.
all sincerity, the alt right hates us more than they hate SJWs, and the SJWs hate us more than they hate the alt right. These are mortal enemies who think that we are the scum of the earth because we're in the middle between them.
Well, that's the centrist position, don't you know?
It's the individualist position. That's what it is. It's because they're a pair of different collectivist ideologies who are exchanging adherents. I mean, look at Rage After Storm. She was an SJW. She becomes alt right. I wouldn't become either of these groups because I'm a fucking individualist. You know, if she was an individualist as well, there'd be no temptation. They'd both look like cancer. And so, yeah, that's what Hayek was right. I'm telling you.
And I think, I mean, this is like with Google and everything coming out, it always seems like I wonder why is it that in the tech industry, we have so many collectivists? What
I
is
have
it
no
about
idea.
that
Collective.
that
It's weird,
that
right?
draws them together?
Yeah.
I've thought that the reason is because you have so many people who are collectivists, because it's a naturally sort of authoritarian position to have. To advocate for social justice is to advocate for control. I mean, and I think a lot of times their heart's in the right place, sure, but it's still a means of control. And I think that if
Yeah.
you want to control, then you naturally will seek out positions of power in order to, be able to assert that control. And people like you and I, and who are more individual based, we don't have that almost like innate desire to want to control people and seek out those positions of power.
No, it's fucking
Yeah.
absurd.
No, I think that's a really good analysis, actually. People forget that everything about social justice is inextricably intertwined with power. And power
Yes.
is nothing but control. That's the control of the environment around you. Your ability to control it is your power. And okay, well, then let's talk about control. You know, what sort of control do you deserve to have over me just because I exist as a white man? And I don't think any is the answer. And you think some. And I'm afraid I'm the one who wins this argument because it's my body, my will. You know, you don't deserve to control me. That's fucking. I can't. Is it any more clear than that? You know, don't they understand?
Well, they link deserving things to that all links into identity politics.
They talk about privilege, right? Unpacking the invisible knapsack, and so therefore, if you're born a certain color, born with certain biology, therefore you owe society something because your ancestors or something were given privileges that they didn't deserve. That's nonsense. That's revenge. To me, that's revenge porn.
Yeah.
You know.
I think revenge is a good way of looking at it. And that the thing is, they tell themselves all the time, don't they? It's the right of the oppressed to hate their oppressor.
They're not even oppressed. That's the thing. They're all fucking privileged as fuck. They're going to colleges because $70,000 a year. What the fuck are they talking about? Privilege.
Well, it's just being, if you can convince people that, and it's strange because it's kind of the opposite sides of the spectrum. If you can convince somebody that they are privileged, you can have them justify a lot of things. And if you can convince people on the other side that they're victims, you can convince them to do a whole lot more things too.
Yeah.
And that's what's so strange and insidious about this too, is a lot of the people, one of the main, so most of the huge talking heads of people who are talking about this would not be able to be classified as victims themselves. These are part of the privileged class that they are like shaking their fucking finger at. It's these overprivileged, extremely well-paid, they are highly educated white people trying to spin a narrative of like white people are evil. Yeah, I'm evil, but I mean I'm okay because I'm saying that. What?
Yeah.
What?
Look at some of these people on Twitter, these programmers. There's this one artist guy. I won't name names because, why not? But the guy works at Riot Games, and he's making like $200,000 a year, and he's talking about privilege. Like, really, dude?
Yeah, that was I remember you tweeted out that guy. He was I forget his name, and I don't really care to remember it, honestly.
Yeah, it's just like they all of them blend together at this point. There's so many of them. Like, he's just one example of many, so there's no point in even singling him out, right? But they're all kind of like that. It's so disgusting to me.
Have any of you actually read? You mentioned that Unpacking the Invisible Knapsack by Peggy McIntosh. Has anyone actually read it?
I have not.
No,
I read it ages ago, and it's Weaselword the document. I just got another. I just got up another again, right? No, it's literally the whole thing is just Weasel words, right? Like point number one, I can arrange. I can. I can. It's so weirdly worded as well. I can, if I wish, arrange to be in the company of people of my race most of the time. Right now, just one. Why is that important? Why is that a question?
I can't arrange.
Are you losing something by not being able to do that?
Yeah, exactly. Let's say you can't. Okay. Is that bad? Like, does it have to be bad?
Think of how
I'm in a
Ian
room
must
full of
feel
Chinese
right now.
people. I can't arrange to be in with a white person. I'm being oppressed by their Chinese privilege. Jesus Christ, dude.
Sargon, you know more than anyone else that you don't have to actually do anything to harass somebody.
Well, yes, I
Existence
do
is
know that
harassment.
part.
Yeah.
But this is the point, isn't it? It's such an... I mean, like, it's a bizarre thing to say, unless you have this inherent dichotomy that white people must be bad and therefore non-white good. Because what is the problem with... Okay, say mostly it is white people around a black person. If the white people are good people, what's the problem with that? But the inherent assumption must be there's a problem with the white people. So they're not assuming it for non-white people, you know?
Well, what they can... It's the whole subconscious bias thing. Is like that if you enter into telling them that... It's basically the identity politics version of original sin. Is if you can convince somebody that they have subconscious bias, that if they don't even have to be racist to be racist... If just them being them is racist enough...
You say that, right? And that brings us nicely on to point two, right? I can avoid spending time with people whom I was trained to mistrust and who have learned to mistrust my kind or me. So the direct implication, the presupposition behind that is that I was somehow racially indoctrinated to not like black people as a white person.
It's so strange because I was raised and my parents never brought up race ever. It just wasn't a thing.
Exactly.
It was never
Likewise.
a thing that was even discussed.
Yeah.
It's just like to me when I was growing up, I assumed that race, because it was never taught to me, if you can teach race, whatever that means. But I just assumed it was another facet of a human being, like their height or their weight, or it was just another thing about them, another physical characteristic.
They're not asking about whether they're left or right-handed or something.
Yeah.
You know, they're not asking about hair length or anything. All of these things could be factors on which we choose, but we don't have to make them. It just makes me makes me think these people are really fucking racist. They're obsessed with it. It's just like...
Well, they're not just racist; they're dogmatic. I mean, I wish I could remember who it was that brought this up first, because this is not my idea. But when somebody's trying to sell this idea of original racism, or that you're pre-programmed in to have, like, from birth, you're a white person, so you're programmed from birth to hate black people, they do try and push this idea. Doesn't that sound a lot like fucking original sin?
Yes.
I mentioned that a moment ago, and it ties in so neatly with it, because this whole thing does have a religious sort of... It really sort of is religious in a way. I mean, it has distinct parallels that are almost impossible to ignore. And
they are very Catholic, aren't they? And you must flagellate yourself now.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was raised Catholic. The whole thing, and it's so weird because now, I mean, I'm an atheist now, but looking back, it's so strange how the concept of like original sin was explained to me as a kid, and even growing up, and I just accepted it. It's like, oh, I was just born a broken ass person, and I'm just guilty of stuff that I've never done, and that's okay. And you just accept that. And it's insane how I can look back now and realize that I just took that.
It's a horrible thing to do to people, isn't it?
Yes.
It's just that's how I feel about it. It's just a horrible thing to do to someone.
It is very much a religion, I feel, in that, like, social justice is about justice for the group. Group justice might be a better way to term it.
Yeah.
I think Ben Shapiro summed it up best in his speech to, I forget which college, but he said that social justice isn't about justice. It's about getting what the group done. I mean, getting what the group wants done, right?
Yeah.
That's what it wants.
Yeah. It's a set of power tactics. It's a way of it's just the vector on which they're attacking is race and gender.
Well, might
Correct.
make right is a lot easier if you're a collectivist.
Yeah,
right, yeah. It's a very socialist ideology. That's where it comes from. It's you know, when people talk about cultural Marxism, this is what they're referring to. Social justice is.
Yeah, they mean intersectional social justice when they say cultural Marxism.
Correct.
And it does come. It's basically the roots of it are what's called neo-Marxism. So it really is actually, you know, Marxist, and you can see that just from its basic, in the basic premises. You know, everything is an oppression vector. Like someone's being oppressed by someone who's an oppressor here. It's like, Jesus Christ. I mean, listen to this third point, right? This is so fucking stupid. If I should need to move, I can be pretty sure of renting or purchasing a house in an area which I can afford and in which I would want to live. It's like, it literally, isn't that how like most homes are done? But
I mean, I got to be able to afford it, and I got to want to live there.
Yeah, but okay. So what you've said there is that poor people, whether they're white, black, or whatever, who don't get to fill that, are no longer recipients of white privilege. So poor white people no longer have white privilege. So now we can be sure that this is not about their race.
Oh, sweet, excellent. Now we just have to draw the line at what poor means, and then we can. I'm sure that's not a goalpost that'll be moved ever.
Yeah, of course, you know. But the point is, you know, this is not about race. This is probably about wealth, to be honest.
Class issues, yeah.
It depends also on who you're talking to. I mean, we do have Nice Watch Trey, who a poor white homeless man has more privilege than I will ever have, he says in his $300
By this metric, Trey Melvin has white privilege. So he can afford to live in a fucking house in which he'd want to live.
There you go. Trey Melvin has white privilege. Okay.
Point 4 is I can be pretty sure my neighbors in such a location will be neutral or pleasant to me. Well, I'm sure they are. Middle class and upward neighborhoods are generally quite nice. People aren't always screaming and fighting with each other in the gardens. You know, people are too fucking pretentious for that. Is basically what it is. But you know, good. But this is just talking about wealth. Well, I can go shopping alone most of the time, pretty well assured that I will not be followed or harassed. Fucking. Oh god. This is giving so many people white privilege.
That is such. Oh my god! Wow.
All right, let's define harassment.
What about all the white people who walk through a bad neighborhood? Are they not harassed?
They don't have white privilege.
No, because they don't. Yeah, they get their white privilege back later, but
they lose it once they cross over the poverty line, and then it comes back when they walk back out.
Yeah, the tax code changes and their privileges adjusts according.
That's actually true. This is entirely contextual. So basically, if this just became the law of the land, and you had feminist scholars and various other types, like feminist scientists, all working, they'd be like, well, okay, we actually, I mean, we know privilege is contextual, so really we need to measure it as finely as we can measure it to eliminate as much oppression as possible, right? And so you would end up with, in everyone's fucking phone or something, a little thing that told you how much relative privilege you had relative to the other people in the local vicinity to you to accurately calculate the privilege you currently possess. So that you would have to then modulate your fucking behavior based on this.
And it's so weird. Like, how would you even go about doing that is like one moment you look down and you're in the yellow. It's like where you have moderate privilege, maybe a little too much, but you're still kind of a normie. And what if it dips to red where you have too much? Like, how do you like adjust what you're doing, like on the fly?
I guess you've got to become a second-class citizen or something. You know, it's like
you have to take off your jacket.
Yeah, and give it to a black person, or someone with high privilege, lower privilege. You know, like this is the thing. It's a horrible fucking future that they want, because it really is like it's a caste system. You know, that's what it fucking is. It's a fucking racial caste system. White men will be the untouchables at the bottom, and it's like, look, I'm not just going to accept the status of untouchable. You know, it's like.
And remember, it's all about scale, too, because I did a video where someone was talking about the representation of races in games, right? And they were talking about how there needs to be a bigger representation of minorities. But when you adjust for scale, really, white people are the minority, so it's all about how big is that bubble that you're creating here.
And, yeah, I mean, this thing at Google as well, man. Just the fact that they fired the guy. I mean, what did he say that was even wrong?
Have you read it?
I've read it.
I've not read it yet, but I've been watching videos of people who have talked about it, and the bits they've pulled out. Like, I watched Ben Shapiro's video on it, and he was like, "This is all completely milquetoast and plain. There's absolutely nothing offensive here," and I trust his judgment on that.
It really is. I've got it pulled up. There's a link in the Hangout if you want to take a look. But this is honestly very. It's honestly very mild, and it is.
It's all cited too. It's all cited.
I've got it here. Yeah, I mean, I love he begins with "I value diversity and inclusion." I mean, maybe was this added afterwards, or is this like?
No, he added. I mean, he wrote that stuff all in. Like, he opens it with diversity and inclusion, and he closes it too. The guy's a liberal, right?
Of course.
He very much is a liberal. He's just saying that their approaches right now are just not the best, you know, and he wants to come with solutions.
Well, I don't know how much time Sargon has, so we could just run through the too long didn't read section right here if you want.
Hey, good idea.
Yeah. So prompts, prompts to you, James.
See, I think it's really. What's up, Bunty?
Hey man, how's it going, guys? Bunty.
Hey, we're talking about the whites.
The whites. Are you talking about a specific white person though? You talking about?
We're talking about James the White.
White by Google. White by Google. Well, I mean, so the other thing that's bothering me about this too.
What is his ethnicity? He's a white guy, right? The guy's white, right? The guy who did the memo?
James Damore, yeah, he's white.
Yeah, I assume that if he wasn't white, then he would have been given a lot more leeway.
Or not a lot. Like it may have started something quite real. People have been like, "Whoa!"
Like, "Whoa!"
They've been like, "Whoa!" Maybe
it has to be a black woman.
The words of
a black gay woman,
trans lesbian person of non-binary person of color. Maybe.
Yeah, but imagine if a black woman had written this. What the fuck would they do?
What if Oprah had written this? What if it was fucking Oprah who had written this? It's just interesting. Think about it.
It would have been crazy.
It would have been law. It would have been canon. Google would have fired themselves.
Yeah, no, they would have been. Yeah, it's true. It's true. She would have like done something really crazy. I mean, why are we talking about Oprah? What does she do now? What does she even do? What does she do now?
What did she ever do?
She's rich.
She's rich.
Is rich.
She does rich.
She has her own studio and everything now, like, and her own network.
But, she's got her own channel and shit. Have you guys noticed? So I don't know if you saw the image on Google, and tried it yourself. But if you go, and I just did it again to see if it changed. If you go into Google and you type in American inventors, out of the top 9 results, there is one white dude. It's Thomas Edison. And the rest are all black people.
What?
Now,
no.
Here's the thing.
American inventors?
No, I'm serious. Do it. Do it right now. I'm not
doing it right now.
Oh wow. Shit, you're fucking right. Yeah. Lewis Howard Latimer, George Washington Carver, I'm assuming.
Now, here's the thing. These are people that do need to be celebrated. I understand.
Absolutely.
That.
Yeah.
But could you be more obvious and forced?
Oh my God, it's true.
Up.
You have to get to Thomas Edison, and then you have to go all the way over to fucking Eli Whitney.
Yeah.
You have to scroll to the side.
Yeah.
Samuel Morse, Henry Ford.
Samuel Morse.
Is there any wonder that we have to deal with these annoying spurgs on the alt-right screaming about white genocide?
Of course.
You have
especially they're so keen on erasing a lot of people, right?
It's so dumb. Like this Google, This is your fault. The reason why we have to deal with these whining crybaby fucking like Zeke Heiling little kids is your fault. You and everybody like you that keeps doing this. What the fuck?
You know, what's interesting is that if you type in American inventors, the things that pop up as suggestions are actual American inventors and white American inventors after that. Because I guess people typed in American inventors and they're like, no, the ones we learned about.
But I think
shit! Oh my god, that's crazy. The next one is white American inventors. Holy shit!
I guess like I need to find like I need to Eli Whitney and Nikola Tesla. Like you have to go over and find Nikola Tesla and Samuel Morse and Henry Ford.
I mean Elijah McCoy. Elijah McCoy looks almost white, man. He's there almost. I'm looking at him right now.
Albert Einstein. How far do you have to scroll to get to Albert Einstein?
I'm not sure if he's bald or if he's rocking like an actual Hitler Youth haircut. That's what it kind of looks like from this distance. I'm also stoned. I just should let you guys know that guy does not have a Hitler Youth cut at all. I'm sorry.
Four scrolls to get to Jonas Salk. I still haven't found Oppenheimer. Where the fuck is Oppenheimer in here?
Oh yeah, that's right, Oppenheimer. All those guys, shit.
Dude, yeah, so they will say, Google, and other SJWs, they will say that white people don't need representation because the world is catered to white people. No. Every single fucking one of these people are saying that. Yeah. Oh my god! And so they just erase white people, and then still make the fucking claim that everyone's still catering to white people. Where? I ask you.
No, it's true. It's actually so true. Oh my god. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, honestly, like for me, when I'm like actually just thinking about like all this shit going on, I don't know. For me, it's like so fucking absurd. It's just so absurd.
With Google, it's been so obvious too.
But it's like for me, like I've never really kind of like worried. As a person of color, like I fucking hate saying that. Or a colored person, I hate like bringing attention to it because for me it's like it's like nothing really. So I'm like here and I'm just fucking like feeling. I've never felt and had an issue with like colonialism. I never had an issue with like reading about like the fucking the British generals that were in India at the time. Like my dad's like family, like they've all been involved in military. So for me, like my family was in a way like a lot of ways like joined with like that like colonial aspect of India, and like I've never had an issue. So I just don't understand. There was some fucked up shit that went down, but I don't understand how all of these other fucking colored people can get so pent up about shit that like isn't happening today, and they wouldn't have been here. They wouldn't have been but they wouldn't have been here the way that they are today if it wasn't for all of that shit. Like everything that happens in this world is like because of one thing and another. I may not be the same person if the Brits didn't decide to invade fucking India. I may not exist here today.
Exactly. It's all a big and you're from, where's your family from? Where are you originally?
My dad's from Madhya Pradesh, India, so a place called Jabalpur. And my mom grew up in New Delhi area, and then like later was like moving around Punjab. She was a field hockey coach, actually, a national field hockey coach.
Field hockey?
Yeah. That's a big thing that they play over there. They love that shit.
I have no idea what that is.
Wow, field hockey is when you have it's like these curved sticks. Let me show you. Are you serious, Rags? I feel like you know everything.
I probably know what it is. I just don't know it's called field hockey.
Oh, okay. Well, let me show you.
Of it.
I'm not even sharing my screen right now. I'm tripping here. Sorry, guys. Apologize. I can't even share. Can I even fucking share my screen? What the fuck? Oh, I can't. I guess not.
That's right. I'll take a look real quick here.
Just go field hockey, man. Just Google it.
Field hockey.
Yeah, that's wild, man.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, I got you. That's really big in India. I had no idea.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry I went on a fucking rant there. But it's just real. What?
It's all good.
Yeah, man. I was just tripping. This fucking shame needs to end. Like this victim complex needs to end, man. Just needs to fucking end. Like, please stop. Like it's
so strange that they've turned victimhood into a way to get power.
It's a weapon, yeah.
Yeah, it's if you can weaponize victimhood, dear Lord, you can do anything, can't you?
the thing is, it can only appeal to people who give a shit about you.
Yeah, I suppose that's right. Yeah, apathy is our greatest weapon.
You've got like people who are. I mean, this is the thing, right? It's there's like people you give moral consideration to, and there are people that you don't, and there are certain groups that don't give moral consideration to people who are just not part of that group, regardless of their gender, regardless of things.
Yeah.
These like Islamists are one of these people, one of these types of people, and so it's like, okay, it's all well and good playing on my feelings about it, because I think that these are bad things, but like there are other people who don't, and so maybe that's not a good thing to do in general, because eventually maybe you'll have to ask them.
Well, you mentioned that, and I haven't been paying attention to the super chats, and I'll get to those eventually. It's just some people don't have all that much time at the moment. But someone actually brought up a really good point. Frantic donated $40. I'm very thankful for that, and I'll get to this again later. But he said, "Hi again, Rags. People should treat others the way they want to be treated, just like some of us in our generation were brought up. Race, gender, religion, sexual orientation, etc. doesn't even need to come into the question, to come into the equation."
Yeah, if you treat someone, and this is another thing as well. You always see like they're always going about racism, right? And I find this incredible because racism is like the easiest prejudice to beat because it's just stereotyping. If they think that all black people are fucking terrible, and then they meet a black person who's actually really cool to them and makes them feel good about themselves, and they actually think, well, that one's okay, then that's the leverage that will
that's the first
always
domino.
lead to, and then the next person, they'll be all right too, and they'll be like, okay, maybe more of them are okay, and eventually he'll just not really have met any that he doesn't like, I guess. I mean, maybe he could go somewhere and meet loads that are awful, I guess, but being nice to people is a good way of actually beating racism. But screaming at them and telling them they're bad people for that, it's like, okay, that doesn't change them.
It's like when you're trying to train an animal and you do it in a negative way, you beat them when they mess up. It's not as good as using something more positive.
Yeah, I suppose I didn't want to put it like that, but
you're right.
Incentives,
Yeah, it's like, why don't you incentivize people to do good things instead of berating them for what they are, things that they do that you claim they don't even choose to do.
Yeah,
but it's just so easy to break it because all you need to have is one example of the thing that isn't what they think it is. One black person who's not a gangster thug who's going to shoot and rape someone. Then suddenly the stereotype is broken. Now it's just most of them.
Yeah,
and it'll roll back.
It's interesting, really interesting.
And they're so afraid of
how it goes up and up and up. So yeah,
they can do more. I honestly, ostracizing people is the worst fucking way to change their mind.
But doesn't that mean that like technically a lot of us have like ostracized the alt-right? Like we've ostracized them then.
I think that we talk
or like
to them
even these we talk to them all the time?
Well, I talk to them fairly regularly.
It depends on our levels of content. It's like I don't foray into social justice and things like that as much as some of you guys do. But we talk about Sargon and things. He obviously talks to him a lot, and he won't. I mean, I've never seen him go, "Oh, I'm not going to talk to or even address you because you're alt-right."
No.
Oh, that's true.
The worst thing to do. That makes them
I'm
more
that.
alt-right. Yeah.
I'd say out of all of us here, I probably have the least amount of patience when it comes to the alt-right, honestly.
Yeah, I know.
It's very small amount of.
I've got less patience for the fucking socialists and communists. I'm just like, for
I hate the socialists and communists. Holy fuck!
I just realized, we've been doing it. We've been really doing it like wrong. Essentially, we've been like trying to like tear apart their ideas and tear apart like their belief system. That's something that they've spent so much time like really refining for themselves to be proud enough to be like, I am this person, and we're just going at it and we're like saying, fuck all that, you're making no sense, you're an asshole, you're this, you're just being a piece of shit. But they've spent their entire lives building themselves up to this ideological point. They're never just going to go ahead and be like, fuck you, man. Like I think it's like it's really just a matter of being more compassionate with them. I really feel it now. I'm totally getting I fucked it up too at the beginning.
The delivery is important. Obviously, it's like you should dismantle an idea like you would try to dismantle someone's belief in a religion. And for like me, it was a little tiny piece at a time. It was chipping away at this big wall. And then finally you just realize everything has kind of piled up. And I think communism it's not like a light belief. It's like there are some things we believe that are pretty easy to change. But if you're into something like communism, that's kind of something that's going to take a little bit more effort.
Yeah, totally.
And it probably takes time, too. And it's not going to take one live stream, maybe. I mean, it's all about planting the seeds of doubt and stuff like that.
You have this question that you always have to ask yourself as a content creator and a political figure when you're dealing with people who have these disastrously bad points of views and ideas. When you engage on an action, who are you doing it for? Are you doing it for them, or are you doing it for the people who are watching what you're doing? Because unless you're in private, you're a public figure, people are going to be watching what you're doing. Now, when I spurg on the alt-right, I use humor to diffuse their arguments, because the one thing that drives them the most crazy is not being taken seriously. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Whereas social justice warriors, they don't care if you take them seriously or not. They have moral authority, so you have to use other tactics for them. Now, when I do that, and I delegitimize the alt-right simply by just being like, fuck you, I don't give a shit, fuck off, fuck up, kiss my ass. It's not that I've dehumanized the person, I've devalued the idea. If I was in private, I would talk to an alt-righter a lot differently. So I have to measure, what is the effect that I'm trying to achieve? Am I doing it for the people who are watching, or am I doing it for that person? How charitable am I willing to be? So I don't think there's an easy answer for that either. It depends on the person you're talking to.
Wow. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You think there are some people, though, that you just feel like you'd never change their mind. And it's almost like you have to make a public example of the arguments, using them almost like a blueprint of, this is how you argue with somebody who just who won't budge an inch.
So it kind of sends that. So it kind of sends that that example, and then everyone kind of starts doing it on their own in a way.
Yeah, I mean, you should always treat people like their minds can be changed, but there are some people who will never change their minds. Yeah,
I mean, I did this millennial woe shit post last night. And I didn't really.
It was good though. That was good.
I didn't swear at him really. I mean, I just kind of called out the fact that he called us all betas. Whenever anyone says beta, I think it's just like, dude, and you're just, what are you saying? Like, that's real alpha of you to call someone a beta, dude.
That's so tough. I'm so tough. Yeah. I'm sitting in a closet sweating my balls off trying to call you out for an hour. What the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, for me, like, it was just like, I saw that video and I was like, how can I make this like a little bit funny and just like be able to take this in like a chilled out manner? But because everyone else was like really out, like they were like, I mean, I'm not gonna go ahead and say who, but I don't want to fucking out them. but there were other people that were like, fuck, man, I'm just done with this. I don't want to talk about this shit anymore. Like, it's over, whatever. And but then I'm like, I want to fucking do something about it. I mean, this guy has these ideas. Why don't we just do something? We got to be funny about it. We can't be like crazy aggressive. You just got to fucking joke around with them. And joking around millennial woes that way was the easy. It was so so funny. I was like, this is the way you got to do it.
A bit serious, didn't he?
Oh, it was so serious. It was so serious. It was so perfect.
First outright suicide bomber or something.
Yeah, dude. It's really serious. He's so serious, and he's like, and the way he signs off, he's like, thanks for watching, and then he fucking just like leans over, and that as he's leaning over, it cuts the like millennial woes, and just like like this project is funded by the people, like
yeah.
Dude, he's serious, man. He's too much for me.
You know what? When he ends up becoming Chancellor of Britain, we're gonna be like, I'll be first against the fucking wall.
I need to him and Corbyn need to have a fist fight on the London Bridge.
He'd kick Corbyn's ass. Corbyn's an old man.
Oh man, yeah.
I take a street talk more seriously than I do fucking millennial woes. I'm sorry. Like, I was not intimidated whatsoever. But I tell you what, I have to give something to millennial woes. He gave me the gift that just keeps on giving. He said that I disgust him, and I don't think my dick has ever been that hard. Fuck me. Holy shit. Me. Ooh, millennial woes is disgusted by me. Fuck.
Yeah, man. Millennial woes. I just also realized that just like by us being in this little hangout call, these guys are gonna like watch this. They're gonna be like, "What the fuck are these guys saying right now?" Because they act like they're above, but they want to know. They're like, "What the fuck are they?" They're like the little knitting
like
circle.
Nobody talks away about me and gets away with it.
Exactly. They're like just in their knitting circle right now, like fucking bark, looking at us like, "Oh, these guys are just like SJWs on the other side." Exactly. It's great. I love it.
It's amazing.
Great.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And to think this was a Google diversity memo stream.
I mean, I'm down to talk about that again. I mean, it's okay. We can spend a lot of time. We can spend this.
I don't want to be called a clickbaiter or anything. But
Well, I mean, you are a clickbaiter.
well, I
You're
mean,
definitely a clickbaiter.
you should,
Your tweets are almost clickbait.
it's one of my many natural
Well,
talents.
it's because when you tweet at me, I like look at your tweet and I'm like ready to almost respond. I go like this, and then I'm like sometimes I'm just like, and I write a serious one, and then I just completely delete it, and I'm like, and I just write a really weird one because I'm like part of my brain wants to address you as like as a real human being, but a part of me just wants to treat you like the dog. Just like a dog. That dog can handle my shit. Who gives a fuck? You know, like that's what he looks like. Just looks like a dog that doesn't give a fuck.
So I was, while we've been talking, I've been looking through this Google memo though.
Yeah.
And there's a section in here, non-discriminatory ways to reduce the gender gap. This is like the nicest thing I've ever read in a fucking corporate memo. This is a guy who did the sociological research, the psychological research to find out what the strengths and weaknesses of women are when it comes to a corporatized setting, and wrote out this list of like how you can have these different action items to try and make it more inclusive and more attractive for women to work at Google. Like, how did this dude get fired?
How does somebody have a problem with this? And I think it's because most people haven't read it. And
No, exactly.
I was
Snowball
talking
effect.
I was talking to Jeff before everyone kind of started piling in. And one of the things I said to him was that it is insane how things are often misrepresented, but this is like one of the worst examples I've ever seen is this Google memo. I swear nobody criticizing it has actually read it. It's like,
No,
what,
they just
what
shit
did
on it.
they read?
They just read like the headline of the CNN thing, which is complete bullshit, by the way. It's fake news. So when Donald Trump says this is fake news, he's got a point. Because it is fucking fake news.
He does
They're
here.
saying things like, they're saying shit like, what's a headline that they went with? They said that that a Google engineer claims that women were not biologically
fit to
suited.
work in tech or something like that.
Yeah,
And
he
I was
never
at work
said
when I saw that. I saw that on
And
CNN.
it wasn't like he never mentioned anything in such a way that like this is what men have and it's better. He's always just said more of this or like, for example, like right here, I'm looking down, men have higher drive for status. He's not saying like men have a higher drive for status and that's a great thing.
And he's not saying all men either. He's saying men on average.
He's saying on average men have a higher drive for status, which is a very fucking
it is true.
super
And
reasonable
the
claim
thing
to
is,
make.
he's not even advocating for what something should be. He's advocating for them to change their expectations.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I'm on about, I don't know, page like 5 or something. Non-discriminatory ways to reduce the gender gap.
Exactly.
I haven't actually read through these yet. But that's an interesting thing for him to have in there if he's a giant fucking sexist.
I know.
sexist,
This guy's a really shitty sexist.
Yeah, this is really... it seems... I haven't read it, but it's like 4 or 5 paragraphs of ideas. And it's like, okay, well, you know, I mean, doesn't seem terribly bad. I mean, I'd read everything up until
No, it's really not.
Perfectly fine.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
He's just giving cited examples of physical differences between men and women.
He's just saying women on average show a higher interest in people and men in things, and women on average are more cooperative. Women on average are more prone to anxiety. These are just statistics that he's got linked in the bottom, I believe. And
They are linked, yeah.
I mean, there's a reason that I took this in the description. The top line is I just pulled. That's just a fucking Ben Shapiro tweet that I just took. Group differences on average does not mean all individuals within the group. It's very, very simple.
Yeah.
How can you not grasp this?
Can I just where do we have a actual
Oh, you need a copy?
Yeah, an actual copy, because right now on all the websites I'm looking at, it's just like fucking breakdowns.
Fake copies. Yeah, they're all fake copies.
In the Google Hangouts right there, I just sent a link to it, so you can check that out.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll go ahead and put that in the description so people can
I tweeted
follow
out a
along and
link
sing
that
at
someone
home.
made. Somebody made like a very easy to parse document. You might want to use that one as well. Let me find it. I think it's called diversitymemo.com.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard about that. Yeah.
And that's the one that someone I know made. It is very easy to explore.
I mean, like if you go a paragraph over the non-discriminatory stuff, this stuff is so it's so basic in the way it explains things. It's men's higher drive for status. We always ask why we don't see women in top leadership positions, but we never ask why we see so many men in these jobs. These positions often require long, stressful hours that may not be worth it if you want a balanced and fulfilling life.
Yeah.
Like, who sees that as sexist?
No, not at all. But he pretty much presented what Gavin McInnes presented ages ago on like Fox or something, and like got some other ladies like completely pissed off.
They got him flustered, didn't they?
Yeah, they made a big fuss.
And not.
He said the same thing, right? I don't want to say
It's
panties.
the same-
I don't want to say panties in a knot for women because I want to be a gentleman. But then I
some men
realized
wear
that it was
panties.
Dude,
I was like, I then realized
these male feminists wear panties. Let's be
Nothing
honest.
wrong with
That's
wearing
it.
panties, you bigot.
I use it as a term. I didn't want to.
Undie-shaming.
I realized
I do
is
not
the worst.
give a single fuck anymore. I don't like. I mean, this whole policing of language, policing of
It's true. You just saw
Fuck
that.
off.
Like, by the way,
fuck off.
Like,
How do
you
these
know, it's-
communities not eat each other alive? And they do. You see it all the time, actually.
Oh man.
It's
Yeah.
just... It's just that thing that Sargon did. There's a thing I pulled from Sargon, the ideological purity stuff.
Okay, here's something that's great that's in here. All right, this is
Oh,
amazing.
yeah, they do this all the time. It's fucking cancer.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, go on.
It's insane.
Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. So, and this is personality differences. Women on average have more openness, and then it's a list. These are openness directed towards feelings and aesthetics rather than ideas. Women generally also have a stronger interest in people rather than things relative to men, which is actually a very, very interesting observation to make because, you know, that on its own, by the way, just given the nature of what we do, think about it as YouTubers, what we do, our job is just all people, right? And in order for us to be better with people, we see that in other creators, and we're like, okay, well, that's an admirable quality, and that's how we form like these friendships and stuff like that. We see this desire to be better with people, and like he pretty much just straight up said that women in like corporate settings are better with people. He just said that they're better with people, which essentially means leaders. That's what this guy's pretty much getting at. He's like saying women can be leaders. Women can be straight up leaders. They're
But
better
they
with
also understand that it takes its toll on your ability to do other things that you might want to have in a balanced life.
Exactly.
You know what's fucking funny to me is that everyone who read this and is criticizing it took what he meant as a negative. Like they're saying that the whole idea that women are better people is a negative, that somehow it is a bad thing. And I'm thinking, actually, this means that women are better leaders, so how is this a bad thing? It's a good thing.
Yeah, man. Dude, he did pretty much just outline the fact that, like, as our genders are essentially just, like, modifiers to our class roles on this giant MMO that we're in. He pretty much just said, like, genders, by the way, you have a bonus in this department, but you have a negative in this department. Just letting you know that there's a balance here.
Not Blade Warband. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Dude, oh, that is so sick. We're an MMO, guys.
Hell
and and we're the clowns. All of us are the clowns.
We're the jesters. We're a bunch of fucking bards is what we are. It's like we got bards.
I would say we're bards, exactly.
Yeah,
we just rolled a bunch of bards. Yeah. And right now there's an abundance of bards in this MMO. There's an abundance of bards. This is a bard-heavy server.
It's a bard guild.
Right?
That's what we
are.
I'm
just saying, like, the world right now is a bard-heavy server.
The world is a bard-heavy server.
I mean, North America is a bard-heavy server for sure. Like Chinese servers, man, they're all like farmers, other stuff like that. They're all doing their like different thing, like druids.
Are you gonna say the Middle East is all a bunch of barbarians?
No, Middle East is straight up. East is straight up like warriors, man. Straight up warriors.
Nothing but warriors and clerics.
Warriors and priests.
Yeah, warriors and priests. Exactly. There's no middle ground.
And that's it. Right now, there's got to be this shift, this balance. We need our 5-man teams before we start taking on the raids, and the raids are essentially the fucking giant intergalactic battle that we will be facing together as human beings, alongside our creators.
Enter the Bard mothership.
Exactly. That's what's happening. There's a fucking bigger picture here, man. We're gonna go to there's like Guardians of the Galaxy is gonna be a reality someday. I'm not joking. This sounds fucked up, right? Right? This sounds fucked up. I mean, look at the way at which technology is like advancing. Look at what like people like what's his fucking name? What the fuck am I forgetting? Elon Musk are trying to do. That kind of shit for me. Like I see that and I'm like, there's people here. Stuff. Well, no, there's a lot of people that are like trying to do stuff that's getting humanity into space. They have people on boards now for space mining. Are you telling me that once we reach out to like start mining the rocks that are floating around us, we're not going to reach out even further? Technology is advancing at such a rapid rate that like we can imagine being in space just at a rudimentary level right now within our lifetimes.
Just
Just fucking crazy.
Just don't fucking misgender an asteroid or some shit, and we'll get
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, that's because we have the bard epidemic.
Yeah.
Once the
Or,
bards go away, get some more engineers, everything will be chill.
Or don't wear the wrong kind of fucking shirt when you're landing a lander on a comet. Jesus fucking Christ.
Don't worry, spacesuits are unisex, so you'll be fine.
Yeah, this is gonna. People are gonna run a train on me on Twitter. I think in this stream now.
Oh boy.
They're gonna be like, because of what I just said. I just sound like such a I believe in aliens thing, which is like.
Bunty King believes that ancient aliens built the pyramids.
No, I don't. No, that's not what I believe. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say that I think that there's definitely, given the fact that this universe is really fucking wide, I'm just saying that there's there's a high possibility of something being out there, and I just like it just makes sense statistically. We're gonna talk statistics, right? I mean, billions upon billions of systems. Are you telling me that there's not that chance that you're gonna hit like
It's
hit
a billion
something else?
So
Yeah.
it's like a billion star systems out there. The problem is, how do they get past the whole, can't
Space
fly past
travel.
the speed of light? Yeah, there's a limitation there. So even if they are there and we are here and we want to travel to them and we know where they are, we can never reach them.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Yeah, and that's true. What I'm trying to say is that that actually fucking makes that. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
when
Depressing.
you're traveling at the
Yeah.
speed of light.
Yeah. I mean, how the fuck would that have been
is
possible? That's
Instantaneous.
insane.
So.
Anyway.
Oh yeah, it's instantaneous if you are
For
traveling
you.
at the speed of light.
But then you
The
get.
problem
hit
is, you leave
trillions
people
of years
behind.
later.
They're all going to be dead.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, what's with all these dudes that are like trying to discover like warp technology? They're all trying to like discover it. They're trying to like
Hey,
fuck, you
warp-
talk about warp technology. People are like theorizing and shit like that, and they're trying to figure out.
Yeah, ways to get around the thing. Yeah, like gripping through the fabric of space or something, or like folding space.
Yeah.
Other methods, right? Because they think that wormholes, which are real, might be the answer to it. So basically, we create a wormhole. That way, we don't have to actually violate any laws of physics, right?
Yeah.
We just travel through the wormhole.
God, this guy sounds like the last liberal at Google.
Yeah, I know.
He literally says, I'm not saying that we should restrict people to certain gender roles. I'm advocating for quite the opposite. Treat people as individuals, not
Yeah,
just
I
a
know.
member of their group. Oh my fucking God. I have seen nothing
Yeah.
but he's been saying women shouldn't be working at Google all over fucking Twitter. It's like, what the fuck? No.
They took the
it's
opposite of what
literally
he
not.
said. Yeah,
I hope.
I literally just retweeted someone who's on that, who's making that argument. He's saying, what it's about is whether you should be, you have the right to work at Google or not. I'm like, okay, who's on the other side of that argument? Just point to me who is saying that she doesn't have the right to work at Google. I want to know.
Who-
And clearly it's not this guy from the manifesto.
Well, I replied to that tweet actually. I said no one really has a right to work at Google, but that
Well,
applies
that's
to
a good point
everybody.
as well, actually.
Yeah,
But
I mean, no one has
that's
a
not
right
what
to
he was
work there. But
arguing.
yeah, and the thing is like if you treat it like no one has a right to be there and that they have to earn the place, well there you go.
That's absolutely true, but I guess it's from Google's perspective.
Yeah, I
they
guess,
want
yeah.
everyone to have the right to work there.
if they want to drive their company into the ground, then there'll be nothing but diversity hires.
That's
Like, what do you
insane.
mean she doesn't have the right to be? She's a woman.
I think.
Why would you? Why?
We need a CEO with Down syndrome, because that is a right that they have.
It's very
Why not?
interesting, but it is really crazy how mild this is.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no
It's a tempest in a teapot.
there's
Well,
no
this
fire and
is-
brimstone
This is
here.
something that any one of us would have written. Not quite in this
Yeah.
depth, probably. I mean, don't get me
Right.
wrong. He's
I want to see the Sargon
Genius.
version of this. Sargon,
Well, no-
that is your next project. You got to do this Sargon version. It's literally translated in your Sargon. Just Sargoninated.
Today on this
If-
corporation and stupid.
No. If this guy was watching, like, every different ideological group that was opposed to feminism, then I mean that they're all represented in this in some degree, and like of all the sort of communities that we see interacting with each other, and it's really interesting. But these are all really strong arguments.
Yeah, amazing
Yeah.
arguments. There's this one. There's this one that I really love, and it's obviously one that I felt before, and I feel like we've all talked about it. It's the one about where the fuck is it? Why am I not finding it? Anyways, it's pretty much when talking about that men's drive for status and how that has pretty much led us into these higher paying like shitty jobs. That's in verbatim pretty much what he said.
Yeah.
Like, and like that's something I've always thought
yeah.
about, right? Because as much as we have this feminist movement that are like, men are equal to women, women can be the breadwinners now too. There's still this like age old setting in our head that's been like, no, you have to be the best man. You have to be the best man. You have to be the best man. Everybody else is trying to be the best man, so you want that higher status job, but.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's had a negative effect on men, and you have the men's rights movement and stuff like that, and because they're just like, what the fuck?
What's interesting too is the section on Google's biases. He does a breakdown of left biases and right biases, and I think it's interesting. I was talking to someone else about this, but I'd like to get what Sargon thinks about this. Under right biases, this first thing he lists is respect for the strong and authority. Do you think that's a right bias?
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
I think that's a bias that the right would have. I think that the left hate the strong.
Yeah, no, that's it. Compassion for the weak. Compassion for the
They only
weak.
talk about the weak. They hate the strong, and
Right.
that's why they act like a fucking little rabid mob.
It's almost like it's almost like this menu. If you look at the way things have been laid out, like left biases, right biases, disparities are due to injustice, disparities natural and just. It's almost like if you were to push these two together, you'd get a fucking perfect
You'd
balance.
get a filthy centrist, is what you'd get, a dirty
Yeah,
foot
yeah.
sitter.
But look at this compassion. You still have compassion for the weak. All right,
Well,
you
yeah,
have some
it's-
compassion for the weak, and then you have
You never
respect for the
feel
strong.
defensive.
The truth is in the middle. These are
You
the
know
two
that change
extremes,
is good. You know that the progress is good, but you also know that it can be dangerous if it's like too fucked up.
Yeah,
You know,
these
like
are
that's the
two,
thing about that's. It's almost like none of them on their own are also really bad. They just are just missing a part or a two. But like, yeah, I would say that like left and right biases on their own aren't bad or good. It's just they're just there.
Yeah, this is all a spectrum, of course. I mean, what he shows here is left and right is the extremes of it. Disparities are natural and just. I mean, who really thinks that you deserve your cancer? Things like that. Well, religious people, but let's see,
I'm just having a look at his concrete suggestions now. Demoralize diversity. As soon as we moralize diversity, we're thinking about. We start thinking about it in terms of costs and benefits. Dismiss anyone that disagrees as moral, and harshly punish those we see as villains to protect the victims. That's a good point. That's a really good fucking point.
Where is this? What page is this on?
I don't see the page numbers.
It's near the end. It's like the last section is his suggestions.
Yeah.
Section.
But because this is the thing. It's being treated like white people have done something wrong by the situation being as it is, and they haven't.
No, the white people today haven't done anything wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
The white people today, born today, they weren't. Yeah, you
they
guys had like.
didn't- Yeah. So it's not a moral issue for them. They're not morally involved with this.
It's just like, and it's also even then, like they're like parents, like whatever, like their method of doing things was completely different. But if times were different, they would have done it like this, the way that they would have done it at the time. Like they didn't, like colonialism was all they knew at that point. Like it was really all they knew. Like it was all about like exploring the world and then meeting other people, and then just out of the differences of ideas, conflicts arising. But they make it seem like England was this one force, or like this one. I mean, obviously they did bad shit. I'm just saying they did bad shit, but I'm just like, it's not like they were there.
They weren't exclusive in the bad shit that they did.
No, they
And
weren't.
we
Just
we have to hold.
Do you
who are
genuinely
gonna hold
think
to
that
standard?
But do you genuinely think that like the King of England at the time was like, all right, let's go out and just fuck everything?
No,
it was
way.
definitely not. He wasn't just
Yeah.
like fuck everything. He was like, no, let's go out and let's get this wealth over and like pretty much get people. It was pretty much about like getting more people. That's really all it was. More people, the conquest of people, and just like have the strongest. I don't know. It's just fucking. It's so stupid. Like it's like I don't even see it as a problem. Like, and it was so fucking hard too. I was actually talking about this with Sargon at VidCon. This was one of the first conversations we had. We were talking about how like colonialism isn't that bad, and it was hard, and it wasn't like. I mean, do you think that
Bunty,
people just bent over? Like,
if you go home to India, what are the judges in the courts going to be wearing? They're going to be wearing white wigs. Like, do you think that's traditional Indian attire? Or do you think that they developed that from a westernized court system that was
The
established?
suit isn't either. The
Yeah,
suit's
I mean-
like the suit's like traditional English dress.
oh
Yeah, I mean, we could argue all day long about the morality of it, but Let's be just frank. Some of the results turned out really
the thing
well.
is,
I feel like the stakes with this. is-
the problem with the discussion of like historical morality context is basically the expansion of the moral franchise. I've been thinking about this a lot because it's a really important thing. It's really anachronistic. Basically, nobody believed that, it wasn't widely believed that, say, exploitation of black people is a bad thing. Right? Okay, that's a bad thing in my opinion, but at the time, nobody thought it was a bad thing, and so I can hardly go to them and say, well, this is a bad thing if just people's moral standards are just different, and don't get me wrong, it would have been reversed, but it's not fair,
It isn't
they
fair,
never have the
no.
opportunity. They didn't have the moral innovations that we have
Exactly.
that make us, in our opinion, better than them.
Oh yeah,
So
David
they are being-
Hume at the time.
Yeah, they were being the best people they knew how to be.
Yeah.
We
Oh my
just
God, what
happen
amazing!
to have moral innovations since then that make us better. And
It's true. It's true, and a lot of people act like the only innovations that happened are technological, but they really have also been
Social.
are social,
Philosophical.
major social.
Look at
Absolutely.
Arguably,
Yeah,
it's important.
look at the philosophers. Like David Hume is a pretty good example. Bertrand Russell, all these dudes. They define Western civilization as we know it today, right? Through their philosophy. Like David Hume was in the 1700s. He was advocating for the end of slavery. He was like far ahead of his time, but it was thanks to his proposals and his suggestions, and that's the reason why we have such a good legislative system nowadays, right? Like the guy who founded utilitarianism, I'm trying to, John Stuart Mill, right? That fucking guy. He was brilliant. He's the reason why we have the whole the law is equal towards everybody. Nowadays,
Everyone's just trying to do their best, and ultimately, I think that's just what it comes to. Everyone's trying to be the best at whatever they think that they are.
And that ties into it's white people's fault and colonialism, and of course, because if you just applying the standards of today to historical situations is not a good way to be looking at things. You can't even really imagine the mindset without being there. I would assume.
It's not an accurate way of imagining things. That's the thing. It's just wrong. You're picturing their world incorrectly.
Yeah, from your viewpoint of a modern person, everything
exactly.
that you do.
You're looking at the world in 3D, while they were looking at it in 2D. And I mean, basically, they would have just done what other people did, and no one would have thought different.
correct. Yeah.
To
them, they had a
I don't agree that's good. That's not a good thing, but that's the fair way of looking at it, because everyone looked at it that way at the time.
Yeah, and they had a class system. They had this idea that some people were born into, say, nobility or wealth or royal. They were better than us, right? And now we don't think that way anymore, because it's a double standard to have one rule applied differently to a person just because they're an aristocrat.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing about moral innovations. Yeah, we consider ourselves morally superior, but that doesn't make the people bad people. That just makes them ignorant people.
It does make
Not
them
their fault,
ignorant,
because they lived in the time period they lived in. Man, I tell you what, in 100 years' time, everyone will be a fucking vegan. I promise you.
Yeah, no. Oh yeah.
Probably will be.
There is no option to it not be, because what is the argument for eating meat? I like it.
It tastes good.
Well,
I like it.
Yeah, that's really fucking selfish.
Right.
I hope you can source that meat responsibly. Well, not really, but I'm a selfish cunt, and I don't give animals the same moral franchise I give myself. I'm sorry, they're animals. They're there for me to be eaten. But in 100 years' time, they're not going to think that, because there are already people who are proselytizing this. Well, and I don't really have an argument that isn't just selfish. So
Correct.
it's just like, okay, well, I'll just be selfish. I don't believe in God, so it'll be fine.
My argument for it right now, at least for eating meat, is that it wouldn't be viable to get rid of the meat industry, because that would, like, what do you do with all those animals, right? If you just let them out, they'll just breed themselves to death, and they'll eat everything. But see, that would be very.
I think people romanticize an animal's life in the wild.
Irresponsible. Yeah, it would be very irresponsible to do that.
I think that maybe it's just really ultimately it's going to come down to one is going to be more economically like superior. If you think about it, I mean, if the farmers industry like goes back up again, like just the fucking produce farmers. Mm-hmm. Like, what's going to happen to the meat industry? There's going to be this thing. I feel like there's two separate industries, and everyone associates farms with with animals and the wheat and shit like that. No, but they're like separate. Like
Yeah,
they're
but
like
the thing-
separate
The
now.
thing with these arguments is that these are like material rationalizations, right? They're not addressing the argument on the moral level that it's on.
Right.
In Star Trek, when they have food synthesizers that just create food, and so they don't slaughter animals because there's just literally no need.
Have
for
they ever
it.
addressed what happened to the
Reason
farms?
to hurt an animal. But, you know,
They've never done that, have they?
Well, there's
That's
no
what
need.
happened to the
You get that.
farms.
Well, that's the thing. There's no need for farms.
yeah,
Yeah, no, but what
would
happens to,
do-
like,
they
all
would
the-
just disappear.
The land that they graze, do they just kill all the animals so that they don't eat off the ground?
Oh my god, there's no need for farms if they can just bioengineer the food.
Well, that's the thing.
from-
That the idea.
I know,
is
but
that
what
they're in
happens
a
to the
post-
animals themselves that are existing
Oh,
in the
they'll
farms?
grow
Because-
old and die. They'll get eaten. You know,
Yeah,
it'll be
nature
a
will take care of that.
transitionary.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
It'll be a transitionary thing. It won't just be over in one day.
Yeah.
You know, but
Right.
the number of these farms, they'll shrink till they're like a tiny number of people who just want to be rebels or something.
Right.
You know, oh, you're a
Yeah.
bad person for eating animal. Yeah, I know, fuck you or something. You know, you know, whatever. The like societal norm will be veganism. I'm absolutely certain.
Right.
Yeah, it makes sense.
100 years,
Well,
120 years time, something like that.
well, I mean,
Either
I
either
pretty much
veganism or they grow it in a vat.
I actually
Yeah.
got it. I actually got a dietitian now at this
Oh,
point.
yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm
All,
trying
you know,
to.
artificial meat aside,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've
on artificially grown meat, I should say.
yeah, exactly. That's it.
Yeah.
It looks so cool. I feel like there was this burger place like close to the convention center that like we didn't go to. We could have gone. It was like a full blown like the burger's supposed to taste like real, but it's entirely just bioengineered.
Really?
It's like yeah, that's that place. I forget what it's called. It was called the Impossible Burger. I think it was called the Impossible Burger. That's what it is.
I don't know whether I'd eat
Well-
one. I feel
Well, if anything, I think that the alternative to everyone being vegans is that the meat just won't be gained through the slaughter of animals.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
something I should have
Yeah.
added on.
That would be the best way
Yeah,
to
if
do
you
it.
have,
I
like
mean,
you've seen,
It's
Daybreakers,
effectively
same
the
idea.
same thing because they're specifically like we're not going to take thing from an animal. It didn't come from an animal.
Yeah. Would you say at this point then, like, Sargon, that you were against an entirely vegan world?
From a very selfish point of view, no, I'm not in favor of it. I don't want an entirely vegan world. I like meat.
Exactly. That's cool. That's
Yeah.
really interesting. That's really interesting because
I know,
I see it at the future, and I'm like, it's
Yeah.
cool. It's gonna
Well,
happen.
is what we
It's
do
gonna
to
happen.
animals in slaughterhouses any more cruel than what happens to them in the wild?
Yeah, I just figure I'll just be
Right.
as moral as the people who came before me on that.
I mean,
Mhm.
there's a reason that we
can
don't
be
eat.
for my son to fucking worry about.
That is a good question, Rex.
Well,
I really
and
think
the answer
that's
is
good.
And I think it's interesting too that we
At least you
don't
don't have to worry about being a communist.
like notice in the West we don't eat animals like dogs or dolphins, things like that. The primates, the quote unquote higher animals, they get, it's like they get to a certain point and we
Yeah.
empathize with them so greatly that we can't imagine eating them.
We do give more moral consideration to intelligent animals, don't we? I mean, you
Oh,
just
for
swap
sure,
flats,
for sure.
you know, so.
Because like we understand that they have a higher capacity to understand suffering
Yeah,
that
I
other
think so.
animals might
Cows
not
do.
possess.
Cows do. We just ignore them. Cows and pigs. You can actually keep them as pets. They're just kind of big and unwieldy.
Yeah,
And they
so
taste good.
It's almost like yeah, that's actually true. Huh? We're actually killing animals that would be probably intelligent to the point like
They're as smart as dogs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like dogs are
Yeah.
not very smart animals. They're actually kind of dumb.
Well,
But
it's cultural too. A lot of it,
It's a
we just get
cultural
used
thing,
to
yeah.
it,
yeah, we just
It's
sort of
true.
ignore the moral quandaries of eating a very smart animal because a pig can be a pet. It can be a dog. It's smart.
wait. What about a little pygmy goat?
I'm sure. I'm certain that if you
Sure, they're
found,
pretty smart.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh my god,
They're not-
I should get a pygmy. I should get a little baby goat.
What
Yeah,
will people
you
say?
should.
What will they say?
It's like a little baby goat, man. That would be the cutest thing ever. I mean, they're really smart. They're actually really smart.
They are.
Why the fuck would I have a dog if I can have a fucking kick-ass baby goat?
Yep.
Kick-ass baby goat.
Why the fuck not, man? Like that is.
I fully
that's good.
support
That's
your
a great
ambitions to have a baby pygmy goat.
I think that's actually pretty
You should
cool.
totally get a pygmy goat.
Check your laws, see
because-
if it's listed as something exotic or something like that.
I don't
Man.
think it is. It's Canada. I mean,
Yeah,
and
it is
pygmy goats.
Canada.
Everybody.
A pygmy goat. Yeah, baby, get a little
Just
squishy goat.
register your house as a petting
puppy.
zoo and be perpetually
Yes, yes.
closed for renovation, and then there you go.
Yeah, it says that you
goat.
can own pygmy goat in Canada.
Oh my god.
Well, look,
motherfucker.
America is right next door, man.
Yo. Hell yeah, pygmy goat. Let's see this. Let's see how much for sale. Woo! I'm a buy an intelligent human being. Sorry, that's fucked up. I'm a buy an intelligent being. I mean. Oh shit, that's true. Now, what's gonna happen is that at one point we're gonna start thinking that these animals are so so intelligent that we have been conducting an animal slave trade of sorts, and the animals, and then we're gonna have to draw legislations about how like the animals.
One might even say 4 legs good, 2 legs bad.
It's almost it's weird, very weird. Okay,
It costs anywhere from $150 to like $300.
Ah, so there you go. That's a small price to pay for a pygmy goat.
It is a very small price to pay. And the other thing, though, is that, I mean, it's kind of interesting because, like, fuck, I was going to say something. I completely forgot. My brain is just malfunctioning at the moment. I've been so overworked. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they don't have adoption. There you go. I don't know why that took that long. Yeah, they don't have, like, a goat adoption because obviously it's not, like, a fucking, an abundance, like a pet that's in abundance. They have adoption.
We don't have gangs of feral goats in the streets that need
exactly.
eating up all of the garbage. Well, there you go. That's how you solve. There you go.
So now I can eventually start oh my god, that's fucking crazy. That's true, huh? If people get like pygmy goats and then they can't like take care of them afterwards and they just put them up for like adoption or send them to the SPCA, next thing you know, we're just gonna have like a bunch of goats that are gonna be banging everywhere, and like we're gonna have like a goat. The goats will just be walking around the city.
Do you think that they would? But if they like fed on garbage, do you think that like they would be like a net positive or?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe. But I mean, the thing is that like, it's almost like if by doing this, I'm that one asshole that's starting this little movement here. If I do this, I have a little goat, and then a bunch of people are like, you know what? He got a goat. It costs like such little money because I'm going to talk about how it costs very little money at all. I'll talk about it like, no, it's all $300, and now I got a fucking goat. Like,
dogs can be easily
$400 on your dog. $400 on your dog. Sick. I got a goat. And like next thing you know, people are gonna be like, I want to go too. Fuck that guy. And
what does your dog do? Things. My goat does things.
Now this comes down to: do I do this and be a selfish asshole, or do I not do this and just maintain the balance?
You should do it. I don't think you're being selfish. You're giving a goat a home. Think of it that way.
Don't think about it as taking a goat. Think of it as giving a goat a home.
Yes. It's like adopting a pet. You're giving it a home, and you're the best person who can take care of the goat. So you should be happy. You should be proud.
Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, Sargon's been really quiet. I feel like Sargon's like, this is the degeneracy.
Sorry. No, I was just like reading bullshit on Twitter.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I noticed.
This is I feel like he's like, fuck. What I got into? Why is Bunty fucked up right now?
I noticed here under suggestions. I mean, the second thing he's got is just flat out stop alienating conservatives.
Yeah,
stop alienating. What?
That's true. I mean, they haven't done anything wrong by being conservatives. I just disagree with them.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you people? You don't need to treat them like moral lepers.
And it's just stuff like saying we should. He's not even saying I'm conservative. He's just saying stop alienating conservatives.
Yeah.
And that is.
I don't think it is.
Who's been in? Go ahead. Sorry.
He just is right. I mean, I don't even care about the reasons. It's just not. They haven't done anything wrong, They're just not part of the fucking cult. That's your problem.
Who's been in Montreal here?
Not me. I would like to go there. Yeah. You
guys should definitely visit Montreal because I'm not shitting you, okay? It's almost as if you guys are like do you feel like when you go outside it's very left leaning in wherever you're from? I mean not you in Malaysia, but like here, you find that if you go outside and you're interacting with young people, you're just interacting with non-stop like fucking left leaning people?
Here, absolutely not here. Definitely not here in Arkansas. I live in it's pretty. I mean, this is a red state here.
Exactly, but here's the thing though, right? For us, like in Montreal and I think a lot of places in Canada, the left and the right are constantly just mixing. So I mean, it's like really hard to I can't tell you if like Quebec is really liberal or really conservative because like we're all just mixing together and we're all chilling here. So we don't have that idea that like they're evil. we have this idea that we just don't agree with them. Like
that's a big problem in America. I think it's a bigger problem that the left does it here in America. It's dehumanizing the other side, just demonizing conservatives especially. Like, you voted for Trump, and it's like it's all this stuff, and that's where it begins.
No, it's totally.
They do this all the time. They just consider them really immoral. It's okay.
So they just want Trump to be president forever, I guess. I don't know. I don't.
They don't.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. I never thought. I was talking to my buddy Ginger, and I was talking about all of this stuff that we all talk about all the time on the internet, and he's like, you're interacting with people on the internet and fringe groups, right? And you also know that all these people are in the States where they're either right or they're left, and it's like really, really, really fucking heavy. Like you can't just like, it's not like you don't have people mixing together there, but like over here we're all hanging out. Well, and so for you I see everything. Like I'm like, why the fuck aren't you guys there yet? We're here. Why aren't you chilling? Like, and like, but it's so easy for us to say that, because I've just been living in this environment forever, and I can understand that it's pretty fucked up in the States.
Yeah, over here, like before the election, some people asked me at work, like, who are you voting for? And I said, well, because Ted Cruz didn't win, the primary. So I said, okay, I'm voting for Trump because Hillary is Satan. And it's like you just get those looks, it's like, oh, you're voting for Trump. I can't believe it. It's like they never ask why. That's the thing I noticed. It's very, very obvious. They never ask why. But I always ask people why. I think like the best way to get people to introspect, their own thoughts, is to just ask them why and have them hear themselves explain it to you. Is like, why would you vote for Hillary? Let me hear your reasons. Why would you vote for Trump? Let me hear your reasons. Like really, like just make people say aloud and actually think about why they did something. And a lot of the times it makes them kind of click a bit. And
I think it's worth. Oh, sorry. Go.
No, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's worth. Ben Shapiro, he always makes the point that they're always making moral arguments, and they are, right? And I've been thinking about this. Like, how in any way are their fucking positions moral? I'm just absolutely at the point where I'm not even going to consider us to be moral equivalents at this point. No, you want like, for example, one of his things is like put an end to racial discrimination programs. Oh, great fucking start. I mean that. Why do you have anything that could be described as a racial discrimination program? Just why does he have to say that?
I don't think they're
ridiculous.
Even. I don't think they're even. Yeah.
Racial collectivists are running.
It's racial collectivism.
Yeah. This is the thing. Exactly. It's racial collectivism. This is like totally fucking awful.
Yeah, racial collectivism is awful, but the thing is though, is that it's eventually just going to erode over time. I mean, we're there, like, but we're there though. But that's the thing though, Sargon.
You look at the group right now, right?
No, we're at this point where we're just like, hey, it's cool, man, it's cool. Like, but fuck, everybody else is not there yet.
I don't know.
Really not there. Like, at least, like we've ascended to the next level. We're not just based on skin color. Like when you see me, you don't just see like, all right, this guy's skin color. You're gonna see like, what's this guy saying? What the fuck's he talking about? I want to hear what the hell's going on in his head. And based upon all of that, you're like, okay, I'm gonna associate myself with this person. I'm gonna talk to this human being. And that's what it's come down to. That's the level of like collectivism that we've come to at this point. Like we've gotten past just the racial collectivism. We're at a different form of collectivism, but we're all collectivists, right? So we're always going to be collectivists, but we're getting to that next level of collectivism.
I don't know. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm an individualist. So
well, what you just described was people being individualists. Yeah, really.
That's what it sounds like you were talking about.
Yeah. But I am describing you as an individual, totally. Yeah. But the idea is that like we're now the individuals are looking for the other individuals, and we're like, we're all just individuals. Like we just
need a group of individualists.
We need a group of individuals. Like
lone wolves have to stick together.
And that's the thing. Like it's pretty. But then we're not lone wolves anymore.
That's the idea. Yeah.
And that's the idea, and that's what's happening, right? So it's like, but it's okay. It's totally okay because it's constant balance and order of things. Because you're always going to need to have a team. Everyone's going to need to have a team.
Yeah, but you can have a group of individualists. That doesn't make them collectivists.
Yeah, but you're right.
We're not collectivists. Like, we don't all agree with each other. We have conservatives here. We have libertarians. We have classical liberals. We have liberals themselves.
Yeah, you can have a society of people who think the individual is more important than the society.
Yeah, that's right.
And when you judge
I
people,
really actually like this de-emphasize empathy. That's a great thing to suggest as well, because this is nothing that kind of annoys me. Like, I don't think someone's feelings should trump the rules.
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah.
I'm sorry about your feelings, but the rules are the rules, and if the rules are no racial discrimination, then I'm sorry about your feelings. Is my opinion on that, especially as I don't want to be racially discriminated against. You know.
Yeah.
It should be,
and it goes both ways. Yeah, racial discrimination doesn't just mean discrimination against people of color. It means discrimination against everybody, including white people.
We're taking race out of that as a factor. You know, you discriminate based on their work history or grade average or something.
Yes, what's
wrong with that? You fucking
merit.
You have all of the information as well. It's not like you don't.
I know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're literally got the keys pretty much to like building like the best future. That's
do you do a good job? Do you do a good job? Are you good at your job? Then okay, you get to stay.
Basically, that's exactly it. It's, I mean, like, what's his name? Miller put out that fucking press conference.
That was so good.
It was amazing. He spent the first like 3 minutes just explaining in just detail. Just like, is this? This is very clear. It's like, right, okay, good. I mean, I don't know why they're saying he's not a good communicator. That was very clear, right? It's going to be a points-based system like Australia. You know, it's going to favor merit and English-speaking people.
Yeah.
This is neither racist nor anything elseist. It's just, you know, it's a good policy for the country. It will be popular with voters. You could not ask for more from a fucking politician on that. You know, that is just such a... And he handled it like a boss and nailed them with a moral argument at the end. The guy had nothing to refute.
Yeah, he just
and
sat
they've been running around bitching about it.
Yeah.
They've been bitching about Stephen Miller. Oh, he looks creepy. Yeah, well, so fucking what? He's right.
They're thinking about making him like the White House communications director.
They should.
I think.
They
and I was like, do it.
He can handle them. That's
And people are hating on him because he didn't want to like.
He's an alt-right Nazi.
Yeah.
Same stuff.
Even though he's
they always
Jewish.
say.
Yeah, he's
You know what
Jewish
really-
neo-Nazi now.
He's a Jewish.
No, he's not. They're
yeah.
lying about him, obviously.
They lie about him,
they
but
lie about everything.
he's Jewish though. He's Jewish, and they're saying he's a neo-Nazi, and like the guy grew up with Jews, and he's a Jew himself. So
Oh, but
what are
no,
you
he's not.
talking about?
You're trolling. Okay, I fucking thought you were like legit telling me he's a neo-Nazi. I was.
No.
No, he's not. He's absolutely not
I'm
a neo-Nazi.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, someone said in chat
That's what
that
they call
Jim
you.
Acosta's slack-jawed face was hilarious. That needs to be a gif.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
it's
it's a meme.
it's the opposite of the Tucker Carlson stare. Is the
That's
Jim
true.
Acosta stare?
Is that what it just did? Did I just do that?
What?
Where I was just like, what the fuck? Are you
No,
saying?
no. Someone just mentioned it. The way that he just sat in the chair and was just taking
dumbfounded.
this from.
Yeah, I was like,
There's
what?
no way I could come back. What else can I say? Oh, maybe if
Now
I
that
call
that's-
him, maybe if everyone thinks he's a Nazi, they'll forget about.
They're saying that cosmopolitan, like you saw the Politico article. They were saying that Stephen Miller's comment about how the guy has a cosmopolitan outlook or something it comes from anti-Semitism from the Soviet Union.
He's
like, what are you
internalized his
talking about?
anti-Semitism.
Yeah, and they're tying it to the Soviet Union. Are you serious? They're trying to do the whole Russia thing, you know?
They're like, do you want him to be a Nazi or a communist? You're just gonna have to pick. You can't have. You can't have.
Dumb. That is so dumb.
That's
All
what
fucking
they
excuses, isn't it?
when they talk about moral arguments, that's their version of moral arguments. Basically, it's that Alexander Aaron, right? I don't know if you've seen him on Twitter, you know, going on about like he'll make these 50 tweet rants, and then people always like to quote tweet him because he's like one of the vocal people on the left. And they like to tweet this guy, and his idea of a moral argument is to basically emphasize how afraid you are of Trump. And if you can if you can make other people believe that you are afraid for your life, then you win the argument because they will agree with you in spite of disagreeing with you. It's like a
my god!
pathos,
It's like
right?
It's so crazy. So that's why they're saying like deep, like fucking just like maybe dumb down the empathy a bit. You know, like just like roll it back a bit because. If you keep feeling for these people, then you're gonna like end up like doing things that you don't necessarily want to do, but you're doing it
exactly. They abuse it. It's a manipulation tactic. It's not really an argument at all. It's a manipulation tactic.
It's a way to de-emphasizing empathy is a way for us to be more pragmatic about the decisions that we make. We have to be. He even says
rational about
being
it.
emotionally unengaged
Rational.
helps us better reason about the facts. That's why there's so much character assassination against people like Miller.
Exactly.
He's like, what are we gonna do? We call him a fucking Nazi.
one of the arguments that I saw that people are trying to raise against Miller was that the whole meritocracy system is bad because it means that if they were to have implemented these rules, say 50 years ago, their families wouldn't have been able to come over and immigrate, right? And my response to that is that it's not 50 years ago. It's today. It's 2017.
Like,
and I don't want to make that... I hate saying it's 2017, but it really is 2017.
Well,
and we're talking about the future of the country, right?
like
of
we
any
can
country.
play
We don't have
that
enough
all
resources.
day. We can play the what if game until the cows come home, and it won't solve a damn thing. Well, what if?
Yeah.
It's like, what? I mean, people always, like, I was at there's a gas station I go up to, and I get, like, snacks and water and stuff. I'm up there. And the guy who's there all the time, he's a big lefty, right? But he's, like, one of those ones who doesn't know anything. He's the kind who only watches CNN and believes everything they say, right? And his arguments are bad and all that sort of thing. And I was talking to him about the wall, and he's like, how do you feel about, Trump's wall? And I said, honestly, I don't really care about the wall. It's like, I just want illegal immigration to be stopped. It's like, the wall is, if it gets the job done, fine, whatever. It could be whatever it needs to be. And then there's a guy in line behind me, and he said, well, don't you know that you do realize that this country was made by immigrants, right? And I was like, no, but that was how many hundreds of years ago was that? Like, the whole point, you can't stop taking time periods in history.
It's the Crusader argument.
Yeah, directly
about the Crusaders.
transposing
Call
them
them
onto
back
today.
then.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
well, they're not there. Oh, why did you bring it up then? We're not 200 years ago, 50 years ago, whatever. Why are you bringing that up?
If they're bringing up the Crusader argument, why don't they bring up the fact that Constantinople was once a Christian nation?
Yeah.
What about that, huh?
Yeah.
Like, why don't we
Power
just
privilege?
kick out all the
plus
Turks who live there? Kick out all the Turks, kick out Erdogan, kick out the Muslims,
Yeah.
and make it Deus Volt again. Like, why not? But since you want to bring up that fucking argument, let's just go back that far.
Speaking of kicking the Turks, Sargon, did you see that Ben Shapiro Cenk Uygur debate?
Yeah.
Oh, that was...
I haven't seen it yet. I just need to know if I need to.
Cenk does better than expected, actually, I've got to say.
Okay.
Better than expected, but still not quite as good because he starts yelling at some point and starts to talk down to the audience,
Well,
which...
that's what he
Yeah,
did
it's
with.
just like Google it a lot.
That's what
but
he did
He
with
did better
Dinesh.
than I expected.
Google it. At which point, Ben Shapiro, who comes equipped with the facts, immediately removes the kebab, as it were.
Yeah, I don't like. I just don't the way that Cenk treats the people he's arguing with, even if it's like with Sam Harris and
Yep.
with Dinesh D'Souza. He just seems like a
talks
nasty
down.
person.
He talks down to people. He is like a slightly more version of Anna Kasparian.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
they do.
Yeah.
This is the thing. I've been thinking about this a lot. It really is. So much of this is about morality and just like
Yeah, it's about
moral. They
Yeah.
sanctimonious fucks because they think they're better than you, and on a moral level, it's like, okay, but are they? And the answer is obviously fucking no. These people are twats all the time. I mean, like Francesca Ramsey. Yeah, I'm the one with the microphone. I would never fucking say that to someone.
Yeah, you're right.
It's
That was a very awkward thing to say.
Yeah,
I
it was
remember
like
cringing when I heard it. And I
Yeah,
was like,
it's like
total fucking cringe.
Yeah, we.
no,
totally
it's
get
like
the
you
argument.
don't acknowledge your position of you
You
never
ignored it.
acknowledge your position of superiority.
Yeah, but how does that
Exactly.
relate to you being right, though?
Exactly.
It doesn't. It
Total
doesn't.
cringe. How does that change your fucking metrics, Franny? You're the one looking like you're about to burst into fucking tears on the stage, not me.
Exactly.
I'm
If you
laughing
didn't
at
have a
your
microphone,
Black Lives Matter bullshit.
you were right.
That you can't. The reality of the situation is, you've lost the argument. Now you're just being a twat, and it's like, no, look, you're the one being a twat, and you're admitting it basically, and it's just like, dude, stop fucking acting like you're not the twat then.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot. You have to just stop people and you have to say, well, how does what you said relate at all to who's right?
Exactly.
It's like let's assume you didn't have a microphone in front of you. How are you less right now? How are you more correct as a result of that?
Yeah, that's true.
It's just arrogance and like the humorous as well. Hubris. It's actually really,
it's like a thing said by someone who expects everybody to back them up no matter what.
yeah. And she's on her own. And I mean, everyone booed. They're like, ooh.
It's like you could have done better.
Yeah.
It's like I was not expecting that.
Yeah, it was a shame because at some point she did say things that we agreed with and we cheered for her. She was like, oh my God, you're cheering for me? It's like, yeah, look, idiot, we don't hate you We should say things that aren't stupid.
Yeah. It's like, we don't hate you. Stop giving us a reason to want to.
Fucking yeah! If you say things that aren't stupid, I'll cheer for you. Good, funny. I like that. Good. Carry on. You know.
It's like, we can agree with people that we don't even like. He's like, it's about the thing that's said, not the mouth that's coming out of.
Exactly. It's about the thing itself, for fuck's sake.
He's like, that's the whole thing about, what is it? Moral absolutism. With like, you know, if you say, you know, it was like Hitler. You know, Hitler said that quote, and it's like, okay, but is it a good quote? You know, it's like, do you agree with it?
Yeah.
It's like, just because Hitler said it, that doesn't mean it's instantly a bad thing.
Well, they're always the ones running around. Is it the Goebbels one? If you say a lie long enough and loud enough or whatever, it becomes true or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that. You know, they always use that. It's like, okay, well, you know, Goebbels said that, right? Just why are you sending this to anyone? I see them sending it to people all the time. Like, oh, Donald Trump's a Nazi. Look, it's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
There was that video going around of, I think it was an little Antifa rally or something like that, where a guy had gone up to the podium and he used only Hitler quotes to make a little speech, and they were all cheering him on and stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was beautiful. That's funny.
Yeah.
They agreed with it.
Because really, you know, you look at
It
people
wasn't
like,
an Antifa rally though. It was
I
just
forget what it was, just like a
It
socialist.
was just some regressives or something standing around on the street. I mean, there might have been an Antifa thing going on somewhere else, but like,
Well, I didn't see any fires, so I
yeah,
don't
exactly.
know.
Yeah, the rubbish cans seemed fine. So
It was a progressive march or something, right? It wasn't Antifa per se.
no, it wasn't
It was a
Antifa.
college student thing, and they're all progressives, and they actually believed what he said.
they-
They were like, "Oh yeah, you got a point there."
They were socialists, so of course they'd have a
Yeah,
point.
definitely.
It's like, well, yeah, that does sound pretty good. It's like,
Right,
Because
someone
they
in
agree with
chat-
the.
Someone
Yeah.
in chat said, if you're in any way a nationalist, comparing anything to Nazis makes you a dimwit.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah.
the
Like-
Nazis
like-
had
like-
specific ideological boundaries and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, but not, the Nazis
You
were.
can compare things to. You can actually compare things to the Nazis if you know what the Nazis believe.
Well, yeah. The thing is, the Nazis were essentially just like really just proud to be Germans.
No, that's
They were-
not true. They were like massively German supremacists and like
Yeah.
German supremacists were also socialists. They were also socialists. We
They-
gotta
yeah.
drive that point
No,
home.
no, they absolutely
Yeah.
were. It was
Social.
complete-
They were socialists. It's true. Fuck.
Yeah,
no,
they were.
collectivists,
Fucked up.
complete racial collectivists.
So Sargon,
Racial.
I'm going through this thing, and he's saying how like Hegel's
Oh my God.
conception of like the world spirit is replaced with the Volk or something.
Oh,
And
dude.
it's just like holy shit, it becomes like this holy mission for them. You know?
Oh my god, socialism breeds racism.
I don't know.
Fuck.
but it's like,
It's social collectivism. Yeah, it
Fuck,
always.
man.
no, dude,
They're
Che
on the group,
Guevara
right?
loved the blacks. I don't know what you're
you
talking
know,
about.
the socialists really aren't that different. It's just it depends what you're being a socialist about. I guess.
Well,
Like,
so,
you-
Sargon,
you could
would you
take-
say the Nazis
Oh.
were right or left wing?
Well, I mean, nationalistic tendencies are normally considered right wing, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and then obviously you've got collectivist things. I mean, normally
They're the wrong
compass-
kind of centrist, is what you're saying.
Yeah, normally
Yeah,
they're the authoritarian
horseshoe theory.
centrists on the
It's
thing.
like the horseshoe theory, right? I know it's a bunch of nonsense, but the horseshoe theory. They're at the horseshoe, the invisible part. That's where they are.
The incomplete section, the
The
horseshoe
incomplete
cornerstone,
section. That's where the
is
Nazis are. That is where social justice is
They're
headed.
just a
Because
mixture of everything bad.
exactly, you take both extremes, and then you got that. You get that, right? That is Nazism.
Now
It's at
before
the incomplete section.
before the stream started, Sargon and I and Jeff were talking a bit about Nazis and stuff, and I was going to bring up that it's so fascinating to listen to that, to listen to how they were able to, because the Nazis were very intelligent people. They were very smart. When you look at the things they built and the things they did and the accomplishments they made,
Sure.
they were very smart people.
Yeah,
And it's
there
so
are a lot of Nazi
fascinating.
intellectuals who built a big tapestry of a philosophy out of all of this. They
Yeah.
actually had philosophical tradition effectively they were following.
And I think that's so interesting to see how people who are so intelligent were able to convince themselves, especially on a moral level,
It's the same
that
as the
everything they
fucking
did was
commies now.
okay.
It's
It's-
the same as the commies now. They would honestly, man, Bad Mouse Productions would probably march someone into an alley and shoot them in the head if he thought it was for the people. I
You
swear
get
to God.
that impression.
Right?
He comes across
You
as
would, yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Like,
He
if
really
it wasn't illegal,
cross-
most people
he
still
doesn't
would murder.
think it's right.
I can't say that about Bad Mouse,
Oh, you're saying that if it wasn't illegal, most people wouldn't murder?
I think if it was, I think
If it was legal, everyone would be murdering. Straight up.
I don't think I believe that. I don't believe that.
Yeah, I don't think
really?
it was.
I think that if tomorrow they just said, okay, murder is now legal, I still don't think most people would do it.
Okay, well, here's the thing, though. There's a lot to lose, actually, because you end up losing, like, everyone else starts becoming aware that you're
you
fucked
kill
up.
somebody. Now
Exactly.
everyone
Right.
knows that you're a danger
Yeah.
to society. Law or not,
Yeah.
you're still a danger to
You
society.
probably end up wanting to make it legal again.
Again, yeah, it would be like the Wild West, right? Because it wasn't strictly illegal because you could sort of get away with it
Well,
a lot of the time.
The Wild West is a little bit of a misnomer, and like with the violence that happened, because you knew that if you fucked around in these small towns, everybody
They would
knew who
fuck
you
you up.
were, and they knew where you lived.
They get a bounty hunter on your ass, right? They would get a bounty hunter and kill you.
Not that, but it's also that you disappear, essentially. They could make you disappear.
Yeah, it's like nobody
Yeah.
would. Well, where'd Clem go? Oh, he just went panning for gold, and he never came back.
Exactly, but they can't really do that these days. With,
Yeah,
like,
these days it's a bit
Right.
bit
So it's a
tougher.
lot. Yeah, exactly. So that would be a major deterrent for, like, I guess, like.
Well, it's
murdering
interesting to
someone.
think about how.
But
societies
it would make it easier. It would make it easier for people who would want to seek out vengeance.
It would,
That's what-
yeah. It would be easier
It would
for you
be-
to do it because you wouldn't have to worry about the vengeance. You'd have to worry about the vengeance of your vengeance. You'd have
Yeah.
to worry about, well, now that I've killed somebody, what will my family think? What will their family think? Everybody who knows now knows I'm a... I mean, it's just... okay, now we get into the whole ANCAP thing where it's just an army of road builders and private investigators.
Who's to come after me? Not that I've done this.
Holy
That's
shit!
the
Someone
issue.
just gave me
Sorry.
$200 in the
Yeah.
super chat.
Ian, you're disappearing there, bro.
Am I lagging?
A little bit, bro.
Hey,
Okay, let me restart.
this actually this goes back
Such a
to the
great
Nazi
conversation.
thing. Yeah,
Such a
it's
great-
really good.
Yeah.
This actually goes Sargon into the Nazi thing, but Wolf and Coyote, he's
Okay, I'm back.
he donated $200 here. And I've
Holy
told him,
shit.
yeah, no, right, $200. This guy's crazy, and this is not the first time he's done that. This dude's nuts in the best way.
Why $200?
Oh, because
so
I'm just-
kind,
I-
so kind, so
No,
kind.
because you guys are my lucky charms, clearly. But he said, he says Nazism is what happens when you have a country with little to no self-confidence in them, in themselves, cults being popular, and a shell-shocked, charismatic leader.
Exactly. Oh my God, it's true. It's
I don't know about
it's pretty much
self-confidence in
no. It's
myself.
like, it's investing. It's an investing. Like they're built out of people just investing in victims.
Well,
I mean, think about it. I mean,
after World War One.
I mean, yeah, dude. Fucking Hitler was the biggest victim. Hitler was such a victim, and he was such a bitch about everything. He was like
Germany was forced into a position of victimhood by the French, by the British. You know, they were fucked over economically, and so he capitalized on that victimhood, and he said,
Yeah.
"Rise up, Germany, rise up."
But
And
it was by losing a war that the military didn't lose as well, wasn't it? It was the
Right, yeah.
bureaucrats that had done it. They weren't defeated on German soil or something.
And what's interesting is that the
so
Nazis were
it's someone
so
else's fucking
bureaucratic.
fault as well.
Of course. So then, of course, people would hate the people who don't feel like victims anymore. The
Yeah.
people who are actively trying to be victims because they know it brings power would obviously hate the ones that are just like, Cleo, I don't give a shit about whatever's going on. Like that's why someone like what's her name, Brianna Wu is gonna go ahead and block people like us instead of actually engaging people like us because she just hates it.
Yeah, and what's
Do
interesting
you
is
know what's quite funny about that is that if Brianna Wu does get elected to Congress, you can sue her for blocking you.
I was just about to say she bitches about Donald Trump blocking people. Well, if she wins the election, oh god, she's gonna unblock people. Oh,
Excellent.
no. Will it be worth it? Will it be worth it?
The cyber harassment will never end, apparently.
That's so crazy. That's like really, really nuts, man. And it's crazy that she's using her victimhood to really rise to power. That's fucking crazy. That's
the
crazy.
funniest thing is she's not even really a victim. She's not.
Oh,
She was
no.
never a victim. She
She's a
immigrated.
woman in a Western society. She's not a victim.
Woman in quotes, but
Well, I
she's
mean,
not
she,
really-
I mean, she's the.
she's not-
I know it sounds
not a
weird,
victim
but
at
she's
all.
the right kind of transgender. I mean, she
yeah.
like she's. No, she doesn't want to be called special pronouns. She call her as she. She's not transgender.
Yeah, right.
She's a woman. You know,
right.
that's-
She's got that going for her, which is
Yeah,
kudos
I mean,
to her.
I think she's entirely genuine about that. I just think that like everything else about her is unattractive
fake.
in every single way. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
She said that she was political. She was very good at being political or something in a series of Facebook posts against someone called Sarah, I think it was. But this is years ago. I can't remember the exact things. But she was just basically saying to her, "Look, I'm very good at politics," or something like that. And it's okay. Well, there we go. She fancies herself some sort of Machiavellian schemer. You wouldn't fucking say that if you didn't. And I agree with you on. I agree with you on the transgender stuff. She looks. I mean, that's why I'm having to call Brianna Will she. She obviously gone through the operation. I mean, Adam's apple removed and all that. It's like, okay, you've really made the effort. You've done the work. I don't have a.
Right. Yeah. That's why I call her she as well. She's not like a special snowflake. Oh, like my pronouns are changing today to Z/Zer.
She's Mrs. Wu. She's actually become
Mrs. Wu. Yeah, Mrs. Wu. Yeah. She really is.
Yeah, I've got absolutely no problem with that. To be honest with you, I don't really care about the other genders anyway. I've been thinking about them a lot as well, and it's just like, it's basically just like the gender version of Esperanto, because like genders aren't just something you identify with; they're something you use to communicate things to other people. If they're a method of communication, the other person has to be able to. It must be intelligible to them, or if you make up a language that is a new gender and they say, right, I'm a demi whatever, and it's just like, okay, but I have no idea what to do.
What is that,
with
and how do I treat you as a result?
And exactly, and why should I actually do that? If you're going to be a total dick to me, that's effort out of my day.
Yeah, you can't force me to do it. That's the
Ben
thing.
Shapiro's
You're infringing on my rights. You're infringing on my rights.
Exactly. You're trying to control me. You're trying to force me to do something that I didn't agree to, and you've just demanded must be the case. And it's like, well, I'm sorry. You don't get the right to demand that I learn Spanish. So no, I don't have to learn your other gender, and I think this is what Jordan Peterson's reacting to, because it's really hard to pin down why this is a problem.
Jordan Peterson is going to talk to this guy with a memo.
So say again.
Jordan Peterson is going to have a one-on-one with this the guy who wrote this memo.
James Damore,
yeah, James Damore, yeah. So
that's crazy.
I will be very interested to see that.
Yeah, for sure, and it's just really interesting to see like how like these people have kind of positioned themselves in order to be the first people to talk to this after all that. It's really interesting, kind of actually. It's very interesting because he knows that this is like Jordan Peterson is almost able to see like the next big social change.
Yeah, right.
So he's seeing this right now, and people because it's pretty interesting.
You know what is fascinating to me is the fact that despite the James Damore's anonymity, people were talking about him and referencing him by names since Saturday. It's like they had a coordinated effort to basically fuck this guy over.
Yeah, find the wrong thinker and send him to the Google log.
Correct. Yeah.
Who's this guy? Sorry.
This is the James Damore. He's the guy who wrote this memo.
Oh right. Oh god. Yeah. I imagine that he's just been absolutely thrown out of the SJW.
He got total biscuited. One might even say.
I'm not fucking surprised. What's his Twitter handle actually?
James, or Peterson, because I don't think
the guy who wrote the manual. What was his name?
Oh, I don't know if I don't think he has one. Does he?
Let me see, James. Let me see.
I don't think he has one.
No, this isn't it.
I don't think he has a Twitter account because no one is tweeting at him. Like I'm looking at Lawrence Southern, Julian Assange, and so on. No one has his Twitter account. I don't think he has one.
He'd be getting so many he's getting death threats and shit anyway. That's all it'd be.
Oh, of course he fucking was.
And I hope he gets picked up by somebody. Well,
he should start some social media accounts. I mean,
he should. I mean, there's a lot of people who are 100% behind him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because really, it's just there's really nothing at all inflammatory about what he wrote. And if
nothing.
Yeah, if you could take a problem with that, you could. It's just like you're inventing dragons to slay here.
Yeah. But I mean, you don't have to agree with him, but he hasn't done anything wrong.
Yeah,
it's not worthy of firing him. You can completely disagree with him, and I think
his point.
If Google were an open society. Yeah, if Google were an open, ideologically open, they would have a debate with them. You could counter his arguments and be like, here's how you're wrong and here's why I think so. And no one would be opposed to that. I would encourage it. In fact, I would welcome it.
That's a good idea.
After
That
the
is what
problem
critical
that it's not
theory is
happening.
about.
That's the problem.
Yeah, he cites all his sources, and here's where I got the information, and here's what the science tells us, and here's just the indisputable biological facts of, gender, and the facts just bounce off these people like cannonballs off the Merrimack. It's insane. But if, as I said, the fact they fired him proves his point.
Yeah.
And the worst thing Google could do is fire the guy who says, well, they have a problem with people with different opinions. They said, no, we don't. You're fired. It's like there's no self-awareness.
There's no response that proves the point more. If you wanted to show people and send a message to someone, yeah, you know what, fuck you, we don't tolerate, then what we can do, he's speaking up, right, fire him. I mean, you can't think of a bigger message to tell people you don't tolerate them in that situation.
How dare you say I'm not
do you ever-
tolerant?
Do you ever think about like why people simply just like look at traditionalism and they like immediately think it's terrible? They're like, oh no, that's terrible. That's when all the racists exist and stuff like that.
Traditionalism on all the bad. All the bad. They never focus
Traditionalism
focus
is
on the
fine.
good. Exactly.
Yeah.
So but they never focus on like the classiness of like being a little bit more like put together, or even then they never realize that like Romans fucked each other. Roman dudes fucked each other. Greek dudes fucked each other, and it was like everybody knew that they were fucking each other. Like for them, gay was very normal. But I would consider Greece a traditional society. I would imagine that like racist gays existed.
I mean, it's
Absolutely.
Yes, probably exist.
It just depends
They
on
would
the
be
traditions.
bigger towards anyone, though, to be honest.
What?
Yeah.
They were bigots towards everyone.
The
they
Greeks.
thought they were the best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But at the same time, because they all thought they were the best, they were like, whatever, man, it's all good. We can just fuck each other. It's not a big deal. And that's traditional.
Well,
in
a
way.
lot of ancient Greece's views on the gender, I think gender roles in terms of being a young man and the virility of it was different than how we see it now.
Absolutely.
I don't know as much on it. I got a great Courses
I don't know.
Plus subscription.
Not like tremendously so. Like,
You don't think?
well, I mean,
Well, I guess
in basic, young men were expected to be courteous towards women, I suppose. And, like women have their own like general. I mean, like women in ancient Athens had to walk around basically like women in Saudi. They had to have not quite that bad actually. Like in Iran or something where they had headscarves. Because if you didn't have a headscarf, you were basically a prostitute, or you were advertising you're a prostitute.
I need to learn more about Greece. Because I got a great Courses
It's
Plus
really
subscription.
patriarchal.
Hair in a bag.
But women have gender roles, and those they have expectations and duties. But they also have privileges, and it's the same thing.
People like to deny the fact that women do have privileges in society, in any society that they've ever been in. They don't have to go to war. That's a privilege.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not having to go to war, not having to work.
Expected to go to war.
Yeah, they like to
That's a
think
duty.
that going to war is a privilege.
Yeah,
not having to work.
Duty.
It's
Yeah, not having to work. That's a nice thing.
That's a privilege. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not having to work is a fucking privilege. Yeah.
I'm not saying like parts of society weren't biased against women. Like obviously in Saudi Arabia you need 4 male witnesses to confirm that you're a rape victim, right? That's fucked up. But at the same time, they do have extra benefits. Like for instance, they don't have to work. They get everything handed to them on a silver platter. There are many benefits to being a woman. But of course, I won't say it outweighs the drawbacks, because the drawbacks are pretty shitty for any woman who wants to be independent.
Yeah,
So it's true. It's a fucked up
Sargon,
thing.
would you say that those are? I mean, really, isn't that a really gynocentric kind of view?
Yeah, it's very much like that's really like, yeah, it's interesting.
He's like, we
Really
have to
interesting.
do
It's
this to them for their own good.
Yeah, which does bring them down. Which brings them down a whole
Yeah,
other level.
They're so
then-
valuable that we
but then-
have to limit them in all these ways.
Yeah, but then it's also kind of bringing it back to this whole idea where I feel like I can confidently say to a woman, like right now, like if she really feels this, like that she wouldn't be a bad person for just wanting to stay at home and take care of the house and the kids. Like she would never be a bad person for that. The thing is, like, every woman has it in their mind that they have to be this like this thought leader, this other person. And that's, you know what, if there's going to be women that want to do that, they want to do that, right? But at the end of the day, it's just like I would never like. There's this right now. There's this whole thing about how these women who just want to stay at home are shamed. They're shameful. They're shameful. Why would you be the woman that stay at home?
That's the thing that's terrible.
But you're not. But you're not. You're not. You're actually a really like you're making a major sacrifice for someone else, and like you know. And I think that the same thing could be said. And this is something else here. The same thing could be said for stay-at-home dads.
Well, my dad was a stay-at-home dad.
Well, it's just that like you know like you're not a fucking beta if you just stay at home. Right. You know, you have different inclinations. You want to be the best at something else, and if you want to be the best,
you want to be a good dad.
Yeah, that's just what you want to do. So it's about this role reversal kind of thing where we kind of have to just become understanding that there's this transition happening, and like the women themselves can't look at the women that don't want to participate as inferior, and the men have to do the same thing as well.
Well, remember it was Anita Sarkeesian who said that feminism wasn't about women's personal choices.
Yes, she did say that.
Absolutely not. It's about the liberation of women as a class.
Yes,
I was just thinking about that fucking the stay-at-home dad thing. Man, I'm with Bill Burr on that. You're living the dream, man. You know, if you don't have to fucking work and your wife is going to go out and work for you, she's going to earn lots of money, and you get to stay at home and look after the kids, dude, that is an easy fucking life.
Like, you know how many guys would just kill to be able to see their kids all day?
Dude, oh my god. Man,
I want to be.
They go to school when they're like 5 years old, man.
Yeah.
So you can be like, fuck, that is
I got
all
8 hours
day,
of me time.
all day playing fucking video games.
It's like,
Well, no, I wouldn't. See, that's the thing. No, that's the thing. I wouldn't want to play fucking video games. I would never do that.
Do whatever.
It's not for you.
I'd be doing my thing. I'd be doing my fucking thing, and that's the thing.
Yeah, you've got 6 hours of me time. Do the fuck you like.
Yeah, it's like, and it's just like, women have that privilege, and it's lended to them more often in society, way more often. Like a guy looks like a deadbeat. He looks like a deadbeat.
He looks like a deadbeat. Women can more or less are expected to in some places, and they're not really judged for it. Until now, feminists are trying to say that women who choose to stay at home as moms are disgusting, and that's like, wow, you guys are so wrong here. You are literally putting women down for their personal choices.
Why do you have to shame anyone for?
No, that's the thing. My mom, I wouldn't have been the same person if my mom didn't take care of me as a kid. My mom did not want to put me in daycare. My mom didn't want. Yeah, she did not want to put me in daycare, so she was at home all the time. She was at home while we were at school, and I never realized that she did have a job for a while at one point when she came to Canada, but like for the longest time as I was growing up as a kid, she didn't have another job. She only got a job when she started noticing that I wanted to be like, I could be left alone at home. That's when she started getting a job. But the moment she realized during the entire point when we weren't able to be left at home alone, she pretty much sacrificed her entire life for us.
Looking back, I'm
just realizing how fucked up I've been with my mom. I've been so fucked up with my mom. She sacrificed her whole fucking life for me.
Yeah. I think everyone in the chat's gonna have that
before you have an existential crisis there.
What the fuck? What the fuck? I gotta call my mom after this. I'm gonna be like, hey mom, I love you.
Like, Mom, I want to get a goat. Also, I love you, but mostly I just want to get a goat. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but it's because it's also like kinds of. But then I know that I want to be able to find it where I can like take care of my kids and then also just do whatever I want. And I know that like if I were to be a stay-at-home dad, I would still be able to advance my career while being a stay-at-home dad, because I would do something that would involve like me doing things in like short bursts in a way, like I don't know, like kind of like what we're doing here on YouTube, or you know, doing stuff that's media related, that kind of stuff, and really just trying to spend more time like locally, like local media. I'm saying like more local media. I'd say beginning to think that might be the move for me. Instead of really just going like full throttle, like nuts, like all over the world, I just want to kind of like really focus on like the community here.
Well,
and just try.
This whole conversation revolves around the idea of let people make their own choices about them, and don't tell other people what they need to do.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I never want to have kids, so just let me do what I want to do, and you let this guy over here who wants to have a goat and kids and do what he wants to do, and then we'll all get along fine, and we'll all be productive members of society. We don't have to be at each other's throats having somebody control us.
Exactly, that's true.
Because there's more than there's not like a blueprint that's going to lead you to success 100% of the time, and there's a lot of different ways to get to success or personal fulfillment. It's probably more important, and only you know that. And maybe you don't even know that, but only you will truly know whenever that's reached. And you shouldn't rely on other people to tell you what that is, and they certainly shouldn't shame you away from doing the things you feel like you know you have to do.
Tell you what, the end of this manifesto is just like, I love the reconsider making unconscious bias training mandatory for promo committees. Man, this unconscious bias training shit, I swear to God, that's like the Thetan levels of social justice. It's like, we're going to detect unconscious racism in you. It's like, well,
I hate that whole.
How the fuck could I ever prove you wrong?
And how
You know,
could I ever
ways,
change
yeah.
it?
It's unconscious. Just trust us. It's unconscious. Fuck
It's-
off.
It's disgusting, and they're like, "Oh, if you're white, then you are racist. If you're a man, you are sexist." And I didn't ask for
It's
this.
completely
Fuck you.
unfalsifiable, and it's just like, but again, it's just look. Okay, let's assume that I am unconsciously biased. Now you are trying to police my fucking thoughts that I don't even know I have. The answer is no. I will just be unconsciously biased.
It is insane. It is. I mean, how do you even go about enforcing that?
You can police my actions because that's what the law judges me on.
You might as
know.
well tie unconscious bias to skin color and just call it
Yeah.
what it is. You might as well.
Yeah.
'Cause you can't get rid of
penalty
it.
or something. 'Cause it's
Yeah.
just- yeah, no, yeah,
It's
no,
a
not
mental
everyone is
Harrison
just
Bergeron.
racist. I refuse to accept that.
Chris Reagan just sent me a tweet through Lacey. What the fuck is this?
How do you look like, what is it? A Chinese
Chinese
doodle?
doodle? I don't fucking
Can you
know.
demonstrate?
I don't know.
Let me see
But
that.
just
Bunty, I just thought you should know he has no irises. Look at this.
I have irises.
Where are they?
They're
What the
right
fuck?
You should have
Well-
irises. Those are things you should normally have. If you don't have irises, consult your doctor. If you've lost your irises for more than 4 hours, please consult your nurse. Some of the suggested methods of the current training are likely useful, but the political bias of the presentation is clear from the factual inaccuracies. And yeah, it's like how are you going to get an unbiased, unconscious bias trainer? Like
I don't know.
How is that
How
ever
do you
going to be
even?
something that isn't biased? Like just the concept is biased. It's like I need an unbiased creationist, you know. Spend more time on the many other types of biases besides stereotypes. Stereotypes are much more accurate and responsive to new information than the training suggests. I'm not advocating for using stereotypes. I'm just pointing out the factual inaccuracy of what's said in the training. And stereotypes are based on they're based on something. People don't just pull shit out of their asses.
Yeah, I think that's worth acknowledging as well. I really do. Like stereotypes do exist for a fucking reason. Come on.
Yeah, it's like we didn't all
That's-
come together at one point and decide that Jews just rule the world for no reason.
Yeah. Seriously though, like that's just the way people act. You know, yeah. Sometimes things are like that. It's not inherently negative, you know. And it's even then it's like racism. It's because that basically is stereotyping. It's just like one example disproves the fucking stereotype. And then, okay, so you meet someone who's not the stereotype. Okay, they're then Frank or something. You know, they've come out of the stereotype and become a person because you now know them and you actually, you know, can see they don't conform to the stereotype. Then the stereotype recedes one more person in that person's mind. I don't forgive a fucking shit. All they have to do is actually meet these people to get rid of the stereotypes. Unless they actually do adhere to the stereotypes. And then, well, the stereotype was fucking right, wasn't it?
Yeah.
it's such a non-thing, you know. It's like, why are you worried about it? It goes away on its own by just talking to someone.
Yeah, I mean, if someone does grow up racist and you shun them from society or you shun them from even speaking to them, all they're going to do is just find other racists to hang out with, and that's just going to reinforce everything. And it's
It doesn't make them
counterproductive.
non-racist.
It makes them more racist, if anything.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like,
I think
look at all
it
these
incubates
people.
it.
Yeah, look at all these people who don't think like I do. It's like they're so, you know, like it doesn't make any sense, but they're so intolerant. They don't want to be around me. It makes me hate them even more. It confirms to me what my biases were from the beginning.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like that going back to the Google thing again. He talked about ideological echo chambers and how they tend to fire people or silence people for having different opinions. And here you go, proving him right. Good job. Excellent.
In fact, he
Fucking
even
makes
mentions that. I wasn't even looking. Stereotypes are much more accurate and responsive to new information than the training suggests.
Yeah. That's the very end. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, again, it's good points. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
But this thing, stereotypes, they're not the worst thing in the world. You know, you're acting like this is some sort of high moral crime. And it's like, yeah, okay, they're not good, but they're not like.
And you can understand a stereotype without acting on it too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you can be like, well, there's a reason that this group has a stereotype. That doesn't mean I'm going to allow it to influence me in an open and discriminatory way. But I can always keep in my head, like, there's a reason that this stereotype exists. You just
I
don't. You
imagine
don't.
there are cases where that can be true. You know, like.
It's like you know, there's a guy in a dark alley, and you know he's trying to sell you some, or it could be anything. It could be anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I liked he pointed to a study of this in this at some point. I can't find the thing now, but he was saying how basically free choice means men and women are more likely to diverge in certain areas, and so they'll end up choosing certain jobs in certain industries to different levels, and you'll end up getting male-dominated industries and female-dominated industries.
Yeah.
Computing and nursing. You know, because people are following their natural proclivities.
Yeah, they
And
have less
it's not
incentive.
it's not discrimination. It's just people doing what they fucking want.
Yeah, they have less need to do what they need to do, and they have the freedom to do what they want to do instead.
Yeah, this is actually not a bad thing as long as they're not being prevented from doing that thing otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
So that's the beauty of, and that's also the beauty of capitalism. People just end up doing whatever they fucking want to do and end up being good at it. Just because they do what they want to do.
anyway, it's like 2:00 here, so I didn't realize it was so late actually. But
Oh shit! I forgot Sargon.
But no, it's sorry, cool. But this manifesto is really interesting. I mean, I don't believe a fucking word the progressive press say.
No, of course not.
Absolutely
No,
not.
me neither. Of course not.
I have to have everything confirmed somewhere else.
I'm going to.
They lie about you. They lie about me. They lie about everyone. We've all
anything
been...
ideological,
Except for me.
anything that
Except
could
for-
even be vaguely
Except for me.
ideological.
They're right about Bunty. It's all right.
No, they don't. No, they don't lie about me though. Like, and I've never actually been like targeted by like these fucking other people
Let's
that
give it
just
time.
block me.
Let's give it some time. Give it some time.
Really? They
Yeah,
just
I
don't
guess
like.
If
Don't
they'll do
engage
it
me.
to Lacey, they'll do it to you.
Really?
Yeah.
You just gotta get to the line. You just gotta do something.
They're going to call you an Uncle Tom.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I mean,
Oh, is an Uncle Tom the polite version of coon?
Yeah, but
Yes.
An Uncle Tom is what a white person calls a coon.
no, an
Yeah.
Uncle Tom is anyone could call someone an Uncle Tom.
Exactly. It's not considered racist. Technically, it's so racist. Calling someone an Uncle Tom is fucking racist.
Well,
And
it,
it's a-
it
it's a-
implies that someone who is like a black
Is
person
a
is
race
supposed to
traitor.
think a certain way.
and it makes them lower. Oh my god,
Yeah.
it's racism.
It makes them look like a race traitor as well. It's like
Oh
Millennial
my
Woes
God.
accused me of being one basically for
Oh.
not hating the Jews, and
Yeah,
he's
I
I,
didn't know
think
you were
and he
Jewish.
was trying to get out of me that white people are being oppressed, and I think he thinks that they're being
Well,
oppressed by the
actually-
Jews.
Actually,
It's like, fucking
Christians are being fucked up in the Middle East, and nobody wants to talk about
that's
that.
true.
And I think that's really crazy, and it's fucked up
That
for
is insane,
white
isn't it?
South Africans right now, and nobody wants to talk about that. And I think
Yeah, you
people
talk
should
about it
fucking
and
talk
somehow
about
you're
that.
racist.
Exactly. That's not being racist. You have to call them out. Like, listen, man.
have to. Yeah.
It's
The Coptic Christians are killed on the daily
Yes.
just for being Christians. Yeah, before the Islamic Brotherhood took over, they were not first class citizens, but they weren't discriminated against, right? But as soon as the Muslim Brotherhood took over back in like the Arab Spring, they were fucked over, right? Their neighborhoods were burned down. Things like that. The food that they ate was made illegal.
There's
They can't
a
eat pork
massive
anymore.
exodus from the Middle East by Christians.
Yeah.
no, and then there's okay. Like now on the
Jews.
flip side,
Anyway, I do have this is
Oh, yeah,
fucking
gotcha,
interesting
sorry.
stuff, but I do have to go. Thanks for having me on, man, and I'll.
Peace, Sargon.
It was
until
really
later.
great to have you on.
No worries, man. Take it easy.
Take it
Ciao.
easy.
See ya.
See you later.
Yeah. So like, what were we saying? We're talking about.
Something about the Coptic Christians
Yeah. So it's
and how
it's
it
like,
doesn't get any media attention
It doesn't-
basically at all.
at the same time, you have to also kind of understand and empathize with a lot of black people who grow up in the poorer areas of America, and the situations that they are facing there because of their association with criminality, and that criminality is seeping there because there's a lot of people in those situations that don't see a way out and then resort to that kind of shit, and there's good people there that are completely like they feel like they're paying for it in a way, and it's like, and you have to acknowledge that too, and it's really about like kind of like finding the actual the real microaggressions, like the real things that are happening down at the floor, like the fact that whites are having it pretty bad in South Africa, or Christians in the Middle East, and that, you know, there's definitely areas of many black people that have it bad in America. There's definitely many bad, and like listen, like
the idea is to
and the reason why I say this is because everything is so forward here. Like, we don't have that issue as much in Canada. But that's because we don't care if we're conservatives or liberals here, and the fact that you guys have like full fucking blown, like, one's a red state, one's a blue state.
Yeah, we're
that
ruled
is
by
like
a two-party system. It sucks.
That's literally just more like that's it. That's it.
I mean, the whole Trump-Hillary, the last election, it's helping to. It's not necessarily turning it into less of a two-party system, but it's watering down the parties in a way. Like, my parents were. I mean, growing up, they were hardcore Republicans, and now my dad's like, I'm not a Republican anymore. I'm just a conservative mostly. It's crazy how it shifts so much.
Yeah, because of just what.
And there's a really big centrist sort of movement, especially I think with young people, and I think I've heard that it's sort of trending right. But there's a movement toward the center and the center right, I think, and the idea is to get away from the extremes. When people ask, "Are you right or left?" and you just say, "I'm in the middle." It depends on each individual issue, and you have to weigh which issues you find most important to you, and that's a lot of the times the best way to vote. Is like, where do the candidates stack on what I find to be the most important? You're never gonna get your perfect guy.
No,
it's definitely more of a split here in America. But again, a lot of that comes from there's an immense distrust of the media here, at least the mainstream media. People just don't trust them. People don't trust CNN, MSNBC, Fox. I mean, there's a lot of distrust towards these organizations because they continuously have the best thing to do is just to wear your bias on your shoulder, on your sleeve. Like, Fox is obviously right leaning, right? And it's obvious, right?
Yeah,
CNN attempts to try and put themselves out to be in the middle,
but they're not. Yeah, they're fucking progressives.
Yeah, if they would just say that we're left leaning, we lean left, we have a left bias, people would be much better off listening to them, and they would be like, okay, well, at least they're being honest about it. That goes a long way.
No, but they're dishonest about it.
Yeah, you see the rise of political YouTubers. You see the rise
of... NPR pisses me off because they're government funded and they pretend to be neutral, and yet everything in their programming screams to me progressive bias.
Absolutely left. Oh yeah, they're absolutely left. And let's look at like Ben Shapiro's podcast. It was like the number one podcast here for a while. It was, it's the second top podcast on iTunes.
What's the first?
Let me check and see. Oh, wait, it just says here that it was number one. The Ben Shapiro Show surges to number one on iTunes in news and number two overall. So that's
nice.
The Daily Wire, which is him. So that's Sincerely X by Ted is number one.
Never heard of him.
I haven't either. But what's interesting is that Sincerely X has 152 ratings. The Ben Shapiro Show has 3,000. So that's interesting. Then it's Revisionist History, and then Stuff You Should Know. And News and Politics, it is number one, followed by Pod Save America, The New Washington, Serial, Kick-Ass News, and then The Daily. But it's stuff like this, that alternative media, that is really making a swing.
Yeah. But we need we really need to be very responsible of what's going on. Like, we need to be responsible with things that we say, and how we say it. Like it's very easy for us to kind of manipulate the narrative to suit our own narrative. It happens, and I've seen it happen in front of me where I've been like, "Oh, I could do this," you know.
It is.
But
It does get tempting when you have an audience. It really does.
Exactly. You could like take something out of context and completely fuck it over. You have to be above that, completely 100% above that.
Yeah, that's really important. No, it's something that a lot of people just will never understand or know.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, when you've got, like, I've got a YouTube channel, Twitter account, and all that, you could tweet something that's completely, totally bogus, and you know that 90% of people would believe it. They just believe it because they believe you, because they trust you.
Right.
And you don't want to take advantage of that trust.
It's funny because, you know, you can have some bullshit allegation like, oh, Nick Robinson from Polygon is a rapist, and someone can tweet about it without any evidence, and everyone believes it. And then other people can tweet it, and then they weigh in, and everybody.
Public opinion. He's already been crucified, and there are people out there who are perfect. And that's the thing. That's what's so fucking scary is that there are so many people out there who are willing to just say, "Oh, but I mean, he must have done it." It's like, oh, or the evidence. It's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Did he ever? So. All it turned out to be was just him DMing people who DM'd him back. He was just flirting in DMs with women. Is that all it turned out to be?
It was just one. It was just one or two. Yeah, one or two chicks. Yeah,
and
they were like encouraging it. Yeah,
they was reciprocating. Yeah. So like,
completely.
Did he get his job back?
No, he's still suspended.
That's fucked up.
I think. Yeah, they haven't talked about it at all. I assume that he's fired by now. They just haven't. They don't want to talk about it.
It's like a completely consensual thing that you're doing in DMs with chicks. I mean, it's like what's wrong with that? Nothing is the answer to that question. Nothing's wrong with that. I don't know. It's just going after people like that, being ready to crucify guys just because of allegations, just whispers, and that it's messed up. It's so messed up that people are so willing to do that, to just jump to calling people guilty, and they call us the crazy ones for saying we want proof. It's like the Gamergators are bad because they want proof. They won't just listen and believe.
Right. Somehow we're the bad guys.
And it's so weird because if he was guilty, if anything else, we could just another mark on the chalkboard of male feminists who turned out to be scum.
Yes.
But we just like even people who are ideologically opposed to us, we still want to see proof. We're not ready to. It's like we're not gonna. A lot of this is I've said this in the past is, don't think so badly of other people. Your default attitude towards other people shouldn't be that they're scum. You know, if you're gonna think that, have a reason. Like I have a reason to think Anita Sarkeesian is just the worst. Based on everything she's done, based on the things she said, based on what she.
She intentionally cherry picked some things that I had said. Well, not cherry picked, but like one of the things she mentioned something about what I had said in the video, and she immediately like took it out of context.
Yeah, she's very disingenuous.
And that's what made me realize I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, I'm dealing with someone weird here. She couldn't really get into it because then at that point there was like a bit of an upswing in my social growth online that people were aware of what I was already going through in terms of like Tariq Nasheed and all that. So it would have been awkward to put that on me, like as though this guy is just like no, like I'm not like just a fucking alt-right troll. Like
she's rotten to the core. She really is. She's
really
Anita Sarkeesian is a bad person. And I look at a lot of the people that I disagree with, and my default is that they're just plain wrong. They're just wrong. They're not evil. They're not bad. They're not being malicious. They're not doing this stuff in malafides. They're just really misguided. Right. But you look at people like her, people like Christy Winters. These are bad people. They do bad things and they know they're bad. They do dishonest things and they know they're dishonest.
Oh my god, that's so screwed up. Why?
And those are the people that you make examples of. That's how you know the ones who will never change.
Oh no. That's screwed up, man. I don't want to believe that shit. I don't want to believe that Christy Winters is an evil person or like that.
I wouldn't say evil, but she's
malicious. They're aware. They're aware. They're fully aware. I know, and it's so crazy because we're we definitely see it with fucking.
Yeah, you see it with Woolly Bumblebee, and you see it with a lot of these other types. They'll go out of their way. They know when they sit down at their computer, they're sitting at Twitter. They've got the tweet icon. They've got the bubble up. They're typing the words, and they know it's not true, but it doesn't matter if it's true or not. What matters is trying to push the agenda. What matters is trying to push a narrative. What matters is the idea that's coming across. And it doesn't matter if it's true or not. The truth is
destroying someone's life just for the sake of.
Yeah, it's like Nick Robinson. It doesn't matter if Nick actually did anything bad. It's like we can use him, we can force him into martyrhood. Whether or not he was innocent, whether or not he was guilty, doesn't matter. It's not relevant. It's not me after all. Because it will help the cause. And the cause is far more important than the justice that this person receives. I mean, these are basically reincarnations of Salem witch trial lawyers. It's just it's in the modern age.
True. Oh my God, so true. It's like history repeating itself on all fronts in a way. On all fronts.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if they're guilty or not. We've got to someone's got to hang. We've got to push there's got to be witches.
But that's why all these people are but they know that they're being turned into martyrs. Like this guy, he lost his job, but he's a martyr and he's gonna get a job somewhere else.
Yeah, he probably will, and I hope he does, especially when his next employer says, like, yeah, I was just exchanging DMs consensually with some ladies, and they were into it, and I was into it, and look at what happened to me. The problem isn't so much the employers themselves; it's the whole thing about it's the character assassination aspect of it. Is like if you can't control what people think, then you control what other people think about that person. Yeah, and that's how you cripple them.
Yeah, because people in that industry, in the game industry, they will not want to hire him because he is a radioactive presence now.
Or someone will.
Well, I hope so. I mean,
or someone will. Yeah, or like for example, like this guy who had to apologize, the dude who made The Last Night.
Tim Sorrett.
Yeah, he apologized. Yeah, he apologized. Yeah, like, yeah, he is. Seems like I want to talk to him. I tried fucking talking to him.
He had his. I sent him a Twitter DM. Yeah, they were open for a while. Shocking.
Yeah, but generally I don't approach immediately in DM. I always approach in public to be like, hey, what's going on? Because I want to do it in front of people so that they know that I'm talking to this person.
I don't think there's anything. I don't think there would be anything disingenuous with you DMing him and saying. Hey,
I think it'd be fine to DM him.
Talk?
Yeah. They're open. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because, I mean, as long as you're not saying anything to him in private that you wouldn't say him to him in public, I mean, what are they going to say? The worst case scenario is they show the DMs, he's like, yeah, he said hi, and do you want to talk?
Oh, yeah, okay, no, by the way, I'm not thinking about being associated. I don't care about that. I really don't care. Like, I think that he's a cool guy. I think he's actually a really cool guy. Like, that's fucked up, you know, and maybe someone like him is going to hire someone else. Like, I don't know, it's just in the game industry, I feel like there's definitely a significant group of people that are like, this stuff doesn't make sense. Like, I play video games. This stuff doesn't make sense, but do I have an issue with women in games? Fuck no, man. No. I love fucking women in games, man. Like, they've been around forever.
You love fucking women in games? Me too. I love fucking women in games. It's great.
Yeah, I want to play that Conan game.
Yeah,
I want to play that. I really do, and I just heard it's actually kind of just bad in terms of how it's.
Keep your eyes on it. It's one of those early access games.
Yeah. It's very early access. We're not talking about PUBG style early access, which might as well be beta. You know, this is like super early and it's super hard to play.
Man, it's been almost 2.5 hours since we started.
Yeah,
actually,
I'm hungry.
What I need to do is I need to go through my super chats because with Sargon said he didn't have much time and all. So I've got all my super chats listed here. I'll start at the old and work my way to the new. Let's see. $2 from Azure Sylveon. Pokemon is better, boys. Dogfighting all the way. Which really is what Pokemon is. It's magical dogfighting.
Oh, yeah.
Really. I mean,
it is.
About it.
It absolutely is.
Hamlet, $2. Rags, what's your ideal dick size? It's not a binary metric. I'll tell you that. Avalock, $5.
Size is what you do with it.
Yeah, that's Avalock, $5 R. I don't know what that is. But thanks very much. The best way to defeat the alt-right is to address their concerns. They are real. Their solutions are flawed. And I think there might be a lot of truth to that. I think the alt-right might have...
Yeah, there are actual concerns with, say, mass immigration from the Middle East. Absolutely. You can't deny that. You can't deny that. And just talking about it makes you a racist? Like, what the fuck?
That is ridiculous. And I think a lot of times people are quick to put the blame on something or that shouldn't be there, or maybe they're hyperbolic about it.
Or they say something completely unrelated, like, well, if it wasn't for colonialism, then this would have never happened. Okay, that's not an argument.
Yeah, well, again, we could play the what if history game all day, and history would still be the same.
Yeah, would you think so?
Well, I mean, yeah, history will always be the same because it's already happened.
No, but I'm saying like the whole what if thing. Like, you think that if like you think that it always would be the same if there was certain changes that happened? Everything happened because
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if we just talk about what if in history is like, yeah, what if, but it didn't, and here we are now.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
I firmly believe that time travel mindset and all. If you could go back and change the past, then we get into the moral arguments of whether or not you should do it, and that's its own live stream.
It's not, but it's not. Oh, okay, there we go.
Well, we should talk about it. We should talk about it. It's interesting. Vienticus, $5. The thing that any person should fear the most is what they believe in, because the more they believe in something, the less they question it.
That's it.
Correct.
Well, that's I
God,
tweeted that. I tweeted that because I saw fucking Game of Thrones. He says, do not like be like I don't. What do you say? Like you have to.
I don't watch Game of Thrones, but it's basically you should be keep your enemies close and your friends close.
No, it's not that.
It's the mental equivalent of that. Yeah.
Be aware of what your beliefs, right?
Yeah, your beliefs have influence over you in ways that things you don't believe in do. So you should
because you might ignore the facts because you want to promote a narrative, or because you want to believe so hard in your narrative that you ignore anything that goes against it.
Yeah, and a lot of times you don't even consider that your beliefs could be wrong. And if that's the case, and especially from a religious standpoint, if you can't possibly be wrong, then you can justify yourself really doing almost anything. Deagle Circle 420, $5. Thanks very much, Deagle Circle. He said, "Press 1 if you would yiff rags gamers." 1. Frantic again with the $40. Thank you again very much, Frantic. He's given me he's been very generous in the past, and he's the one who said, "Hi again, rags. People should treat others the way they want to be treated, just like some of us in our generation were brought up. Race, gender, religion, sexual orientation, etc. don't even need to come into the equation." And that's very true.
Mm-hmm.
Treat people how you'd want to be treated, assuming you're not a sociopath. And just look at things from other people's perspectives is really key. Treat people as individuals, and use yourself as a blueprint if you have to. I was like, how would you want to be treated? Jack Porkins gave $15. Someone tried to dox me and get me fired yesterday for publicly agreeing with the manifesto, but it's us that's the problem, right?
Wow.
I was like, I hope that's not. I hope that's a hyperbole, but
that
that's
that
rough.
hasn't
But
happened. That's never gonna happen to me. At my work, they're gonna be like, okay, who gives a fuck? They'd be like, whatever.
Man, that's the thing. You going after people. How dare you go after people's jobs and livelihoods and then say that you're the moral superior? Like, fuck you people for thinking that.
That's crazy.
That's messed up. Mr. Jackson, $2. Don't spend it all in one place. I will buy one piece of gum, and then I'll go back later and buy another piece of gum.
Is that how much it costs in your area?
Yeah,
piece of gum is
I'll
too
buy
much.
I'll buy a 4-pack.
Expensive gums. That's why you live in that priv area, where like that gum is like fucking. You can chew that for a week.
Gum, the booze chew. I get the little double bubble wrappers. It's $4 for $1 or something. Drew Williams.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Drew Williams.
I just.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to random interjection here. The Guardian has a piece up on the Google memo, and it's by Owen Jones, so you know it's going to be fucking trash.
Owen Jones.
Yeah. Here's the title. Google's sexist memo has provided the alt-right with a new martyr. And here's the subtitle.
Oh my god.
What does the alt-right have to do with any of this?
I don't know. Yeah, it's sexist memo, really. And also, it carries on. James Damore's diatribe against women in tech offers an insight into the male backlash that was an important factor in the rise of Trump.
It's all about Trump. It all comes back to Trump.
It's got everything.
This is Trump's America.
He's probably not even a Trump supporter.
He's not. He's Owen Jones. No,
he's not. He's liberal.
He's one of
No. He's not talking about Owen Jones. He's talking about the James Damore.
Damore.
Yeah. Oh no, he doesn't sound like it. No, he sounds oddly liberal. Weird. Drew Williams, $50. So thank you very. Oh, Drew, I remember you from the comments earlier. Yeah, Drew Williams, $50. We argued before the stream, but I appreciate you, Rags, and your content. Keep streaming often, Rags and crew. And I will. I've got all my upgrade stuff right over there. I've just been super fucking busy.
How old are you, Rags?
I'm 25.
You're so young.
I know, right? I work
Fuck.
with I work with somebody and she's 23 and she says I'm so old. I'm 23. He's like, no, listen, when you double your age and you still won't be old. Listen, come
Hey,
on.
this is it. This is the quote from Tyrion Lannister from fucking Game of Thrones.
Uh-huh.
You should never believe what you truly want to believe.
Huh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Should
Which
never
romanticize,
believe
yeah.
what you truly want to believe, and it's such a
You should
good line.
You should never
It's like-
believe what you truly want to believe.
Yeah, why the fuck would you like want to like if you like? You have to ask yourself, why the fuck do I really want to believe this,
Well,
right?
here's here's the thing. What's interesting about that is, and I've talked with Naked Abe about this a bit. He's a good philosophy guy. You don't choose what you believe, and that's odd to it's odd to hear, but you don't choose what you believe. What you believe is a product of what you know and what you understand and the knowledge you have and your experiences.
How you process things.
Yeah, belief isn't just an on-off switch that you can flick at whim.
Yeah, I find it very fascinating because if it all depends on your initial perspective. So you have an initial outlook. Let's say you're conservative or you're liberal. So that's going to be your initial outlook, and everything else is going to be colored by it.
Well,
so
and
now
that's even starting at step 2, because when you're born
that's
a
step
blank
2.
slate. Yeah.
Right.
Like I was born nothing. I was like, you're born nothing, and then you become religious, you become political, you become all that stuff. Yeah.
So past that state, you get a new piece of information. Let's say you read an article, and it's from, let's say you're a liberal, and you read from a liberal publication. You're more inclined to believe it, right?
Oh, yeah,
because
absolutely.
it's liberal just like you. If it comes from a conservative publication, then you're skeptical immediately. You're skeptical. And even if it's 100% factual, you're willing to shoot it down if it goes against what you already believe. So you already got that bias.
Yeah. So
But
you shouldn't believe what you want to believe. There you go.
it's just...
That's a really good quote. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good, healthy, skeptical mindset. But again, thanks very much, Drew Williams, for $50. I really do appreciate that, man. Josh Hill gave $20, but he didn't give any message. All right, that's fine. Thanks very much, Josh Hill, for the $20. I appreciate that. Thank you. DJ Daniel Coe, $20. Thanks much, DJ. He said, please keep doing live streams more often. You and your friends are awesome to watch and listen to. You're one of the main reasons that I'm building a gaming PC from a gaming channel. Hell yeah.
Hey, whoa. Do you have a game? Are you gonna play games?
Dude, my channel is a gaming channel.
Rags, you're a gaming channel?
I got
I play with Rex all the
243,000
time.
subs. Yeah, I'm a gaming channel. I do
I thought you were political commentary.
well, if you only know me from, I've started leaning in that direction.
It's true. It's because on Twitter you're not
Yeah.
a gaming channel. You're Twitter. You're just a guy. That's why.
So you see, the thing is, on Twitter, I'll do some game stuff every once in a while, but I mix in all other things. Twitter is just like me when I'm not in between the videos. It's just me. But I started out doing response videos for like PCs and consoles, and that moved into larger, more broad gaming stuff. And then I started doing like social justice and gaming and things like that. But yeah, that's gaming's kind of it's always been one of my biggest hobbies for a long time, and so I kind of I just started building up a channel around it. Yeah. So I need to get you on Steam and everything, and we need to play and all that. And again, I got these upgrades.
Yeah. You play Siege?
I have it. I haven't played it, but people tell me to. Why? Because
Why?
I got so many fucking games to play. Oh my god.
Me and Bunty.
So we'll play. We will play.
I want to play. Actually, I want to play right now.
And we should also play PUBG, you know? I mean, I have to eat right now, but later tonight, I'm up for some games.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm up for some games too. Yeah, I'm down.
I'll DM you my Steam stuff later. But yeah,
You have
I do. Yeah.
Okay, do you want to play that?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got all these. I took all this super chat money, and I spent a lot of money on really dope upgrades for my computer, especially for streaming efficiency. So that's the plan, is to start streaming a whole lot more. And I got the parts here. I just gotta get them in, and I want to have someone come over who's really good with computers, because I'm actually not that great with computers, but someone who's really good with them to walk me through. Here's how all this works. Here's how you format all. I just want to learn a lot more. Yeah,
so I should probably start streaming again on my fucking YouTube channel then.
Yeah, that or Twitch. I mean, it's a great way to, and from a purely cynical standpoint, the super chats are amazing. It lets people support you directly instead of going through Google in another way. I don't know how much they take off super chats, but you get some really generous people, and it makes you really. It gives you like a morale boost.
I think they take 30% actually. In super chats.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20 or 30. Yep. Yeah.
Well, that's okay
But
because
it-
we
but
used
it-
Google Hangouts to talk shit about Google. So there you go.
Yeah.
So thanks again.
That's actually true.
Thanks again, DJ Daniel.
That's true. That's actually so true. But that may change.
Yeah, look, I want Discord to kill Google Hangouts because I don't like it. I don't like how it messes with your mic. I don't like how you can't really customize things. I like Discord's audio quality. I like its simplicity. I like how easy it is to keep everything organized.
Oh my God, they're gonna make Discord an option to stream.
Well, yeah, it's going to be streaming, video
Yes.
sharing, and like calling. Yeah, so that's
Yeah, they
that's-
just bought the servers.
yeah,
Yep.
they just got a bunch of servers for that.
So Discord is gonna be the contender. And
I hope
next
so.
thing you know,
Yeah, I hope that anything that pushes Google back a bit, I'm by default I'm in favor of. But dude, Discord's been really it's been a really good service. Like my left monitor, and I actually got a new monitor right over there. I just haven't plugged in. It got here today. But it's my dedicated Discord monitor for like Discord and Skype, mostly Discord because it's got the voice chat, it's got the video chat, it's a way to message me. It's so good.
wait, you have video chat in Discord?
Oh,
You
no,
have video
it's,
chat?
I mean, it's got like a chat, like it's got the chat, and then it's got the voice, and it will have video chat soon. From what?
Oh yeah,
they're saying,
so that's really crazy because I have a pretty big Discord server too, right? So my Discord server is
Yeah.
like how many people I have. Fuck, how
yeah,
many?
you have the the Bunty brothers. Why is it called Bunty brothers?
It's just because it's jokes. It's just jokes. Bunty brother. Oh my God, it's true. Like you know what? Like I have this fucked up problem, right? And this problem is that I feel like, and this doesn't come from a place of narcissism or vanity or anything like that.
Goat
It's
fetish.
I just have this. I have this. What?
The goat fetish. That's fine. It's all good.
No, not even. No, it's what? What the fuck are you talking about? I don't have a goat fetish, you weirdo.
I'm just looking at all these pictures and I'm drawing connections here, and I just.
Oh my God, get out of here.
He's got glasses on like I do.
No, so here's the thing. I always assume that people just know me fully because, like, when I talk to them, I feel like I'm very much an open book. So I'm always like never really. I think that everyone knows about.
He's
Bunty
like we've
Brothers or why
talked
that
for
happens.
years, right?
So Bunty Brothers is actually because my name Bunty started like as this joke when I was working at Apple. Like at one point, like we were at this quarterly like meeting, and our store leader was like, hey, so we're giving out some recognition awards, and what should we call them? And all of my friends were like, Bunty, Bunty, Bunty. And then my store leader who was like this really nice. It was like Bunty. We want to call them the Bunty Awards. And I'm like, we're all dying of laughter. And she's like, and she knew that it was like an inside joke, but she like rolled with
Yeah,
it. She
that's
knew.
good,
She's
that's
not
good.
dumb. She wasn't dumb. So she's like, all right, you guys want to call the Bunty Awards? Go ahead and do that. So then I was like, Bunty sounds so Indian. And then of course I found out that Bunty is like a very, it's an Indian nickname. So I went
Do you know what it
on.
means? Or
I know it's just like a nickname. It's like a nickname. It's like Saint Kiddo. It's like Saint Kiddo or something like that.
okay.
And then I started the channel and all that stuff. And then because we started saying Bunty a lot, I called my group of friends for like all over the place in Montreal, and like we called ourselves the Bunty Brothers.
Mhm.
So like there's real life Bunty Brothers. So, and then there's like the Discord Bunty Brothers.
Yeah,
like,
I gotcha.
And the
That's
crazy and the crazy thing is though is that the Bunty Brothers in real life aren't like. They're not like super open to politics right now, and so I've pretty much like distanced myself from a few of them because I just don't want to like not talk to them. Not that I don't want to talk to them, but I don't want to upset them. Exactly, I don't want to talk to them too much until they decide to come to the fold. Because like that's really much what's happening here. I got two of my buddies, Ginger Heat and They Hate Jason. They're like guys I've known for years, like 14 years, and they're in it with me. Like they're just fucking rolling with me,
Uh-huh.
and. So that's where Bunty Brothers came from.
That's
Yeah.
weird
Uh-huh.
because I don't have any friends like that, and I don't
Really?
yeah, I've always been kind of
Solo.
like I'm sort of in that regard apart from just the paramours you pick up, and that sounds dismissive, but I don't mean it to be. But I've never really had like I grew up in school with friends and everything, but after like you graduate high school and everything, I just stopped talking to him, and I don't feel bad about it at all. I don't feel sad. I don't feel like there's an empty spot in me. I've just always kind of been. It's easy for me to just be kind of just without dedicated friends, but it's really easy for me to make friends. Like I'm friendly with everybody that I know at work, and the people that they know, and the social circles that I kind of am with. Like everyone likes me. I'm very personable, but I don't have anyone I really consider like a friend. So it's just kind of strange. It's kind of just different there. But that's all right. But I didn't know there was a story behind the whole Bunty Brothers thing. Because honestly, I don't really know like anything about you.
Really?
Well, no, I really
Yeah,
actually
it's true.
don't.
We actually haven't spoken, and I realized that I'm also been pretty bad as a friend. Like I used to DM Nick like occasionally to talk to him, but now I don't.
Well,
I'm
it
like,
was,
we're in the group
'cause-
chat, but we're in the group chats because we see each other around.
Yeah.
It's almost like we're going to work. It's almost like we work together now. It's weird.
It's almost like we act like friends who've taken each other for granted because we've been together for so long. You don't even like ask each other questions and anything. You just there's almost like this understood understanding.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Very
But
interesting.
yeah, because
You know their perspective. Yeah,
we
you
only
know
really
what they're
talked
thinking.
on Undoomed stream, his birthday stream. Really,
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
really it. That was a fun stream.
yeah. That was true, and I was
That's-
talking about sex there, and I was like, "What should I do, guys? Like, I don't know what to do."
You were, yeah.
Yeah, was that weird? That was weird. That was opening up that way. Was that strange?
I don't think.
I guess
don't-
so. Huh?
Well, it would be weird if the girls found the hangout and watched it. But it would be one of those things where it's only weird to them on the personal level, and it's not a weirdness anybody else can understand. Because they would know that you're referring to them, but they know that nobody else knows that it's them. But
Right.
yeah, it's like when you're watching a sex scene in a movie and you're next to your parents and you're trying to hide how weird it is, you know. It's something.
Yeah.
The chat wants you to read more super chats.
I'll give it. Christian4444, $5. Thanks much. Thanks very much for $5. TYT and CNN are best new places. Trump FCC is planning to end net neutrality. Space aliens studying us in the 21st century. Wait. Let me read this again. I'm sorry. TYT and CNN are best new places. Trump FCC is planning to end net naturally. Space aliens studying us in the 21st century.
I you know what? There has to. I want to believe. I do want to believe. That is something I want to believe. I want to believe that there's aliens. I want to believe that there's aliens.
$5.
Yeah.
Well, that was a $5 well spent.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I
Really
got you, man. I'm picking up the vibes, you know.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to believe too? You guys want to believe
The
too?
truth
right?
is out.
Hell
there.
yeah, I
The
would
truth
believe.
is out
Yeah.
there.
You
Hell yeah,
want
I
to believe. So if an alien showed up and was like, "I'm an alien. There's a world out there. Do you want to play Mass Effect in real life?"
Well, here's the
You'd
thing.
be like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it."
Bunty, the problem is that you shouldn't believe what you want to believe.
I know that's a fucked up thing.
Fuck! Damn it. So Wolf and Coyote, $200. This guy, though. Nazism is what happens when you have a country with little to no self-confidence in themselves. Cults being popular and a shell-shocked, charismatic leader.
Yep.
So Wolf and Coyote is one of the most generous people that I don't know that I know that I don't know. And I thank you very much. And one thing that's interesting is that before, Battlefield 1 came out late last year, and I made this prediction. I said, it would be really good. I don't think they're going to do it, right? But here's what they should do. In the campaign, right? You are on the battlefield, and you come across an injured soldier, and you have the option to kill him because he's lying there and he's incapacitated, and he's an enemy German soldier, right? But, like one of your squad mates stops you and lowers your gun, or you have mercy on him and you don't kill him. And then another German comes up and helps him up on his feet and says, like, come on, Adolf, let's go. So they didn't take that route. I wish they would have. That would have been so fucking cool. Because then you would have felt bad for not killing Hitler. Because Hitler did fight in World War I. $1. Message retracted. Lame. But it's from some... I guess it was really bad. I guess my moderator thought it was really bad. But thanks for the buck, whoever it was.
Yeah.
There's $5 more from Christian4444. No KKK Nazi people. They still have a bloodlust for people they hate in their tone. Who progressive fan? I don't know who progressive fan means, but Nazi people, they still have a bloodlust for people they hate in their tone. I don't know. I don't think they're violent. I really don't think. I mean, I don't think the KKK is violent.
Not anymore.
Not
They used to
anymore.
be.
I don't think
Well, yeah,
Nazis.
they used to
are
have
really
fucking.
violent.
They used to have like
but
a
that's
fucking
the-
2 million members. Now
No,
they
but-
have like fucking 5,000.
But that's the problem, right? They're talking about how they're not violent, but they're being docile because the moment they get more people to come
Yeah,
and
probably. Yeah.
Right,
That's
yeah.
probably
they
really
start
true.
being
Yeah.
violent again. But the
Maybe,
reality is that right now we've gotten so accustomed to just chilling with like our friends. Like you look around, like you realize that you have friends that are like of all ethnicities. That these guys, even if they were listened to, like they would probably get like destroyed by a bunch of people who want to start living together.
And-
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
it really
yeah.
came, if it really
shut
came
down.
down, if it really came down to like whites versus like everyone that just wants to chill out, or blacks versus everyone that wants to chill out,
Oh
it
yeah,
would be-
like if they started.
it would be lost by a landslide.
Yeah, it's like if you start
Yeah.
like this, like, or if
Or
you
that.
start a race war, like if like a black supremacist were to start a race war, it's like most blacks wouldn't be on your side.
No, they'd be like,
they
what
just
the
want
fuck
to
you
live.
doing?
They just want to live like normal lives in a civilized society. you know?
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, fuck the KKK and the Nazis, and there's a reason that they're so tiny, and let's hope it stays that way.
Right.
I mean, I could hate their viewpoints, but still empathize with them as human beings. And again, the more you try to, thing is, the more you ostracize and push them away from society, that could be counterproductive.
You radicalize them. You're driving
Yeah,
them
you
underground,
radicalize them.
and
You push them closer together.
you're making their you're making their hatred ferment.
Yeah, because I mean, look, no one walks away from watching Pootie Tang and thinks less of black people. It's just it
Right.
doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So Deagle Circle 420 with another $5. All right. Julian Assange gave the Google guy a job. Really? Did Julian Assange
no,
give the Google guy a job?
No, he didn't give him a job. He offered him a job.
Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's interesting.
Mhm.
Chris Conley gave $2. Let it paint your life. I say bless you, sir. Well, bless you too, Chris. Thanks much for the $2. All right. Vienticus gave $2. Mark Antony's speech in Julius Caesar. I'm not familiar with that speech, but I will look at it once I end the stream. So we'll see that. It's maybe it's up there with like Charlie Chaplin's Great Dictator speech and all that. Yeah. Hey, Brain. Brain gave me $10. Thanks much, Brain. $10. We can all agree here that the problem is white men oppressing something. Yeah, it all comes down to that. It really does. Thanks very much, Brain. I appreciate that. Malcolm from the North. 10 Canadian dollars. I'm guessing that CA is Canadian dollars. Uncle Tom is a polite version of saying house nigger. The more racist than progressives want to admit. That's true. I read Uncle Tom's Cabin, and you can see how people get, because he was the whole idea is that Uncle Tom was okay being a slave. He was like he was the best slave he could possibly be, and he understood he was a slave, and he's like he accepted it, right? And the whole thing was you shouldn't accept being a slave. You should fight against that injustice. So that's where we get the phrase from. But Uncle Tom's Cabin, it's an interesting book. It's not a bad book. You should read it if you're into reading. But it gives you a good kind of view of the times and the mindset and things like that. But thanks so much for the 10 Canadian dollars. Very polite. Let me see. Bass Mega. Sorry, I see BASS, and I'm Arkansan, so I constantly think bass. Fishing. $20. So thanks, Bass Mega.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. So how long before? And it's crappie, by the way, not crappy. So there's another thing. Yeah. $20 from Base Mega. So how long before Google shuts down this video for having anti-diversity views? Well, as long as you guys keep popping me super chats like $20, man. I don't know what they'll do. But thanks much. But I don't know. I think this sweet irony that we're using Google Hangouts to talk shit about Google. Right. Wolf and Coyote, $5 more.
Yo, I tweeted out something right now. I said the Romans and Greeks were totally gay, and that's 100% okay.
Yeah.
And then I followed it up with a tweet. I said, and they were also literal fascists, gloried through conquest. And like the thing is that like they were obviously more than just fascists. The word fascism is something that came up today. Like I get that. Like it's not something that's like a word. The word. I don't think fascism was really thrown around before the fucking what the.
Do you think the Romans and Greeks were literally fascists?
I don't think they were.
No, they weren't. They weren't. No, I'm saying that by today's standards of what people would call
would it be
considered? They'd be considered literal fascists. They'd be like, oh my god,
standards of
literal
fascism.
fascists, but they're gay and they're.
Well,
like,
people are
they're
calling
like,
this memo fascist.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, they were totally gay, and that's 100% okay. It's so interesting the way that they viewed homosexuality is totally different than ours.
But then one guy just came at me. He says almost every culture / race / empire was fascist until well after the 50s. You were better talking about YouTube drama as you had. And I'm just like, dude, you didn't understand what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say that. I'm not trying to say that they were actual fascists, dude. I'm saying that they were
tell him that makes him a literal fascist. Like you're
I'm not gonna do that. But I responded. I said, you don't understand what I'm saying. I'm saying that they're fascist by today's standards, which is what that makes sense, right? That totally not wrong, right? Not like fucking. No, they're not.
So,
go on. Sorry, I do
Wolf
apologize.
and Coyote gave $5 more. He said, might take a massive killing or hunting of Christians on the scale of the Jewish Holocaust. I assume he says to make people start paying attention. Most people hated and discriminated them before the Holocaust. And I think there's some truth to that. There's some truth to the idea that the Holocaust did give them like a level of victim status. I mean, because they were legitimately victimized. I mean, 6 million dead Jews rounded up, and the scarring that the survivors had, it's fucking awful. What's interesting too is, you guys know the show Hogan's Heroes?
Yeah.
It's a really good old show about POWs in World War II. It's a comedy show actually about POWs in a prison camp, right? It's probably my favorite sitcom ever. And what's so interesting is that it makes fun of the Germans so much. And a lot of the guys who played it, Hans Schultz and the German, the French guy LeBeau, and Richard Dawson was in it too. But the characters LeBeau and Hans Schultz were actually in concentration camps, and their characters always wore long sleeves to hide the actual numbers on their arms. So, and so they got their, quote unquote revenge by being in a show that just makes fun of Germans, insults the Third Reich. So that's one way to do it.
Yeah.
So thanks much again, Wolf. But I don't know if you're right, but you're right, Bunty. There's a strange dismissal when it happens to Christians on the other side of the world that doesn't happen. It's a strange parallel to bring with the migrant situation. It is interesting. Toaster 10 volt gave $2. Which is better, anal sex or vaginal? It depends on if you're receiving or giving. When it comes to giving, vaginal. When it comes to receiving, I have no idea what receiving vaginal sex feels like. So there you go. I mean, I don't know how you answer me that. I imagine it's just the tits, but that's just me. Vienticus, $2. I don't watch Game of Thrones. I haven't seen a single episode either. I hear it's so good. I don't have an HBO thing.
It's an amazing. No, just go get the Kodi player. You can fucking install.
That,
you install Exodus, and you'll be able to stream all of them literally like the hour after their.
I've heard it's so good.
It's amazing. That's how I watch all my content. And one thing you have to fucking know is that Game of Thrones is going to change the manner in which you interact with people.
Yeah, I heard that's what it's attached to characters is what I heard.
Well, that's it, but it's not. It's also more about like all the characters are amazing archetypes of like actual human.
They're very believable people.
Personalities, like actual personalities. So you'll be able to understand that some of these personalities definitely exist in real life and stuff like that. So it's this
That's a problem I have in like games and movies. Is you see a character and you're like, that could never be a real person.
No,
and
that's it.
It draws you out of it so much.
Yeah.
But I really need to. I gotta set time aside, and because I do a lot of, when I listen to stuff, I do a lot of listening on the side, or I'm playing a game, or I'm doing a project, or working something, and I've got my other monitor going. But that's what I need to do. I just need to watch Game of Thrones, catch up on that. I've been, which is weird because I don't watch it, but I've been religiously trying to avoid spoilers as best as possible.
So you can watch it all at once.
So I could watch it. Yeah, I like to binge watch things like that. Kingsley Kingsley Abraquah, $5. I work for a quote-unquote large tech company, the colorful one, and there are lots of people who side with the memo, but we just shut the fuck up because we like having jobs. Which proves the memo totally it has a point. It's like I said, is like the fact that they fired him proves that he was right. Wolf and Coyote, $10 more. Shit, that's $215 from this guy. Damn. Say, what is your Discord server? Couldn't find it after your last stream. I don't actually have a Discord server. That would be utter chaos. I'm just gonna be honest. That's why I respond to Twitter messages, Discord messages, and emails.
Why would it be chaos?
Because I got so many people. I got my YouTube channel has 243,000 subs.
Oh shit, you're 243,000 subs. I thought I heard 43,000 subs. I was like, oh. Okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, even then, that it would be absolute chaos.
Really, it would be like.
Yeah, and
I guess maybe because I don't have that many subs. I guess.
Well, once you pop in, it's like it just becomes chaos. So as you guys know, I try to answer a lot of stuff and I read tweets and things. I try to stay approachable. I actually polled to see if I should have a Patreon only Discord, and most people said no. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to feel like paying me money gets you extra access to me or something like that. I just try to stay approachable. Let's see, Mountain Man Mike, $5. The most racist people I ever met were Alaskan natives. They really hate whites, but they hate blacks more.
Wow, that's crazy.
I didn't know there were black people in Alaska. That's interesting. Maybe it's because of the Native Alaskans. They're so mean to him. I don't know. But that's interesting. I never. I don't. What are Native Alaskans called? Let me look that up real quick.
What, the Inuit?
Yeah, I guess they would be the Alaska. They're just called Alaskan Natives. So, Inupiaq is like a tribe. Imagine being like a tribesman up there in like such an environment like Alaska. That must be crazy. Like surviving like that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they've done so for thousands of years.
Yeah. This is insane. I mean, you get used to anything, I suppose, but damn. Ugh. Pixel Perfect gave $2. Covenant Cody is the replacement for Exodus. Covenant Cody. I don't know what that is. Covenant Cody. Oh, okay. That's the install. Okay, I gotcha.
It's interesting now. You know what's happened now. The other thing I've noticed that's been really cool. Maybe you can actually relate to this, obviously, because you have a much larger audience than I do. You. Like when you tweet now, you can't reply to everyone, but you try to. You're one of those people that actually tries to, right?
A lot of the times you can't reply to everybody. Plus, it will clog up people's feeds if you say too much. But liking things goes a long way. Like when like the guy, like the person I follow liked my thing. Like that means a lot to a lot of people.
Really interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean it means a lot to a lot of people. It happens
because
all the time.
I've never been like, oh my god, someone liked my thing. I've never been like that. That's never been my thing.
A lot of people, whenever I like their tweet, is like then I'll go to my mentions later on, and I'll be scrolling down, and they'll be like, "Oh my God, Rags liked my comment." You know, like, it means a lot to a lot of people. It's like how people would react if Sargon likes your comment, or if Bunty likes your comment. It's like if these are people that you really like on YouTube, it means that you caught their attention, and they saw something you did, and they liked it. I mean, a lot of people put a lot of stock in that, for a lot of reasons. Like, you got noticed by someone that you either enjoy or respect or admire that you listen to. So it just takes a second to, just read it and just like it.
Yeah.
And
it's almost like now, like, instead of being able to, all you have to do is, like, you have to almost sometimes find the most outrageous allegation and then reply to it because you can't reply to absolutely everything. People are going to be looking for what you're replying to.
Yeah, a lot of it.
They'll be like, "Oh, if he can't reply to me, I wonder what he is replying to."
Well, I don't. I mean, I guess that'll vary from person to person, maybe. But a lot of times, you just gotta tell people is like, I do read comments. Like, I do read my Twitter messages. I just can't. The practicality is I can't reply to everybody, but I do read these messages you guys send me. So you can be pretty assured that if you tweet at me or tweet to me, I will eventually get around to see it. And that's just a level of trust that you have with your audience, and as you reply to things here and there, and as you like things here and there or retweet things here and there, people believe you probably based on the fact that you are looking up things and you're doing these actions with them. But I mean, when I tell you guys that I do read the tweets you send me, it's like I read the tweets you send me. It's one of the reasons. I mean, it sounds weird, but it's one of the reasons I can justify not having a personal Discord is because I pay attention to the things you guys say to me. But that was the last super chat. So thank you all very much, especially Wolf and Coyote and Brain and DJ Daniel, Josh Hill, Drew Williams, Jack Frantic. Thanks very much, all you guys. I really appreciate that. This was a really good chat. I've never actually. I've followed Sargon for years. He is maybe my favorite YouTuber. So to have him actually come onto a stream was great. I really appreciate that. And it was great to have Ian, and it was great to have Jeff. He had to bow out. He said he had to eat something fierce. And it was really good to have you on, Bunty. So I appreciate it. Oh man,
it was beautiful. It was great.
It's great to just talk.
Nice to talk to you. Yeah, it was great. I apologize if at any point sounded too spaced out or stonery.
You didn't come across as particularly stonery, though. To be honest, I haven't spoken.
No, the Galactic War didn't.
That's not the weirdest thing I've talked. Oh no, that's nothing. We do Galactic Wars every day. What you talking about? But I don't really know your baseline because we haven't talked that much really. So, you were fine. You did well, in your highness. I need to go eat those fucking cookies. I went to Colorado and I bought some weed cookies, and I haven't eaten them yet, and I need to. I've never been high before.
Yeah,
which
go ahead.
which is weird to say, but
Good things about those.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll give it a try. But I have, yeah, man, that's it. 9 o'clock, almost 3 hours. Hell, you guys, thanks very much for your generosity. Thanks you guys for being here, and I will catch you guys later. Cheerio.